Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, in Weisenberg, Pennsylvania, a seemingly tranquil household is suddenly not so tranquil when a horribly chilling discovery is made inside the family home. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo.
Oh, I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Yeah, you sure about that? The hell
You
are
didn't say co-host. I was like, I know what he says.
We're a disaster.
You didn't say it.
We're a disaster.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
It's Jimmy Whisman. Thank you, folks, for joining us. We are a disaster this week. We are we have impending travel and shows and all this stuff we're trying to stack in here. It's very little sleep. This is going to be an old school sleep deprived James episode, which is good stuff. Which means I'll be good and punchy. It's going to be fun. Yeah, we're taking off. So this episode we're going to try to keep under. I'm not going to try not to make this 2 hours and 45 minutes because we have to catch flights. So we got to get the hell out of here and have to still edit this thing, and it's a mess. But thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your reviews this week.
Yes.
On Apple Podcasts, the purple icon. They help us so much, and we don't know why. But they do. It's iTunes and their funky algorithm. We don't understand it, but it helps drive us up the charts if people say 5 stars and they write something. We don't
like them.
We like them. Doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. You can't fix us with words. So thank you for doing that. It really helps us on the business end. And speaking of that, you can go over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Hell yeah.
Right right now, and you can get all of your small town murder related things and crime and sports related things. Yeah. If you're not listening to crime and sports, you're missing out. Yeah. This week, a crazy drunken Russian is our subject. So please listen to that.
And we got to revisit the other one.
We promise you don't have to like sports. It has nothing to do with sports. It's just a lunatic. Listen to the episode. It's good stuff there. But all of your things you can get there, including Small Town Murder Live. Tickets are available for coming up here this week. Actually, we're tonight. If you're listening the day this comes out, we're in Omaha. That's been sold out since the first day it came out, I think. So no tickets there, but we are in Minneapolis Saturday night, and I think there's a few tickets left to that.
There's like 30 left.
I think there's like 30 left. It's a big venue too. So thank you guys for coming to that. Also just added, Milwaukee was sold out. It's been sold out twice, and they keep releasing more tickets. This is it. They just released, they said there's no more room. So this is the final, there's like 50 tickets they just released for Milwaukee.
Really?
Yeah, just happened yesterday. So if you guys want to come to Milwaukee December 6th, I think, check it out there. So otherwise, long list of shows. Yeah. Come see us, San Diego, LA. Charlotte, Raleigh, Atlanta. We'll get to the others later, but thank you for doing that. Those are the next five. If you want to be one of our heroes, damn it, one of our producers who we gush about at the end of the show, and rightfully so, because they deserve it. We'll say that. One of our producers, you can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crime and sports, or head over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com. Right. And you can make a donation there, and we will love you forever, because every cent is insanely appreciated. Thank you for everything you do for us with that. Yeah. And you can get to those right from where, Jimmy?
Over there at shutupandgivememurder.com.
That's right. And if you time to do the disclaimer. We have to do that here. We're sorry. It needs to be done. People listen for the first time. This is a comedy podcast. It is true crime. Everything is true that happens. The story is all real. Everything is real, but we're going to make some jokes because we're comics. We feel like this is a more palatable way to digest this information.
I can deal with it.
It's a little bit easier than just hearing a very sullen and then her head was cut off. Right. And that's a little disturbing, and it gets a little creepy. And you know what? We try to have a little fun with it. Right. We make fun of small towns, a bumbling police force that screws up an investigation, a murderer who does something stupid. How do you not make fun of them? But what we try not to do, we go out of our way to try not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's the truth.
That's how it works here. So that sounds good to you. We're going to have a blast.
I can't wait.
If true crime and comedy should never go together in your mind, and there should never be a joke that lingers into a story, well, then I don't know what
You're
world.
allowed to feel that way.
You're allowed to feel that. It's not the real world. Right. I mean, watch a homicide detective investigate a case. They'll be standing over, the corpse of their own grandmother, and they'll be standing there making jokes with somebody because it's just, that's how it is. Yeah. It's a dark world out there. But if we understand if that's not what you're into, and this probably isn't for you, but for everybody else, it's time to have fun here. Shout it. Stand up. Let it fly from the top of your cubicle or wherever the hell you are right now. I want you to shout, shut up
and give me murder.
Let's do this.
All right.
Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
I'd love it.
What do you say? Let's do this. We're going all the way east this week. We've been bouncing back and forth, west and east.
We're crisscrossing this
bitch. We're crisscrossing. That's how we do this, babe. We're going to do this right now. We're going all the way to Pennsylvania.
Oh, great.
Back to Pennsylvania here. It's Weisenberg, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Now, if it's Weisenberg, I apologize. I'm going to say Weisenberg, and I don't want to be corrected because I don't care. Yeah. It's Weisenberg.
Very Breaking Bad of you.
Yeah, I really don't give a shit. It's fine. Weisenberg, Pennsylvania, and sometimes it's Weisenberg Township and Weisenberg, but they're the same place. Okay. It seems to be a collection of a couple smaller towns. They have like these townships back there where they'll have like a couple of little towns, and it's under one town's kind of banner.
That's what that means? Because you say it a lot, and I just didn't have the balls to ask because I didn't want to sound stupid.
That's how they name them back there. But then
township is.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. It's like a friendship, multiple things, township. Yeah. I guess if it was one relationship. Yeah. There's always more than one party involved in those, I guess, in any kind of ship. There's more than one party.
We're going to ship them.
Yeah. It's in eastern Pennsylvania. It's outside of Allentown. It's like kind of a suburban area of Allentown, which you may know from the very depressing Billy Joel song about the town, where it crumbles and a man finally gives up in the end of the song. It's about a prosperous place that it slowly crumbles and breaks a man to the point where he can't even go out and try anymore. In the end, he's not getting up today. That's
like
the end of the song. That's very depressing.
Yeah.
And the video, for some reason, is just naked men's asses. I don't understand why.
I don't think I've ever seen the video.
Oh, it's hilarious. I listened to this book, actually, about, it's kind of like the history of MTV.
Yeah.
And the guy who directed it was like, I didn't realize how, like, just outwardly gay our video was. It's super gay. He's like, why did I film a shower scene with 20 dudes with soaped up asses? What was I thinking? Like, that's fine and all, but he's like, I don't know. It doesn't really fit the song or Billy Joel, or it's just a weird touch.
Soaped up asses for a man that's going to quit.
It's just really weird. Yeah, it's a strange thing. So, yeah, outside of Allentown. So that gives you the kind of layout of where we are here.
I don't think Billy Joel ever put together a video that made any fucking sense for his songs.
I guess Uptown Girl was just him dancing around a garage with Christy Brinkley walking around.
Singing to her.
Sort of made sense in a weird 50s way.
I mean, he always said that he didn't want to put lyrics to a song because it ruins the song. So it makes sense that he doesn't give a shit about the video either.
Well, he's not. He's one of those guys that wasn't into video.
Right.
Because he didn't.
He just wants to make music.
He just didn't think he was a real. He didn't think his face was the attraction.
I got news for Billy. He's right.
Yeah, he's like, I'm better off if people just hear my music.
Yeah.
They don't
look at this. This is not positive.
Face. I feel like it's
even when he had hair, he was this frightening looking man.
Yeah, he's not a handsome. He's a goblin. Yeah. Man's a goblin. So he's
hideous fella.
He is. It's an hour and 5 minutes to Philly. It's right outside Philadelphia here. By the way, we'll be in Philadelphia in November. You should come to that show.
There at the Fillmore.
That's right.
Beautiful place.
It's gorgeous, actually. An hour and 50 minutes to New York City.
Okay.
So it's right in the middle. It's where they used to do the WWF wrestling tapings back in the day when they were still the WWF and not E.
Allentown, PA.
Allentown, back in like the 70s and 80s. They used to do TV tapings there. So it's blue collar town, basically. It's about 4 hours and 20 minutes to Pittsburgh over on the other side, which will also be this year, but that's sold out, so we don't have to really push
we don't have to talk about that.
So anyway, it's in Lehigh County, area code 610. It's about 27 square miles, so it's an area of encompassing a couple other little towns and rural
woodsy shit.
Woodsy, it's woodsy. That's a good way to put it. There's woods. People have yards. There's some space between houses in a lot of this area.
If there was one, it'd be upstate Pennsylvania.
This is kind of what it is. Yeah, West Virginia, Pennsylvania.
There you go.
The way you put it. The way I put Western New York is West Virginia, New York. So motto, quote, Amish country's that way.
Got it.
So keep going.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're close.
You're close.
Yeah.
No more steel jobs.
They're all rusted out.
They're all gone. It's all rusted over. Sorry. This is the Rust Belt for a reason, Dan.
Carnegie's gone.
Really, if you think about it, Allentown is the first click on the Rust Belt. It's the first spot that I would think.
It's the first tooth in the cog.
It's the first, it's right there. And then if anything west of that is Rust Belt in that area. But that's the farthest east Rust Belt you get is Allentown. So there you go. The beginning of the Rust Belt. The first notch in the Rust Belt. That's something you want to.
We're the first orange town.
That's it. Perfect. Weisenberg, the township, was formed out of it's 1753. This area kind of came together. So this is all old time. It's outside of Philly, so you can expect that. Weisenberg was named for the city of Weisenberg, which is now Weisenborg, which was in Europe. So as they do, they name it after that. And it's a German thing, and the majority of the townspeople had come from this area. So they just said, let's just name it the same shit.
Same shit as
why move?
Yeah.
We've said this all the time. Why move?
Why leave to go somewhere the same?
And try to make it the same. It doesn't make sense. First settlements took place in 1734 on and around where the Ziegel Church is, I guess. The township is part of the territory purchased by Thomas Penn of Pennsylvania fame. Yeah.
It's kind of a big fucking deal out
of
there.
whole state fame, He's
got a station, for fuck's sake.
He's got and a whole state and teams and he's got a lot going on.
Statues all over the fucking place.
A lot going on for this guy here.
His name's everywhere.
Absolutely, all over the place. In 1737, he bought it from the Lenni Lenape tribe, which sounds like a guy who owns a pizza place in Philly. Lenni Lenape, how you doing? I own Lenni Lenape's down on Broad Street. You know that place?
Well, it sounds like the original name of the Oompa Loompas, and Willie changed it because it was too many L's.
He's like, you know what? I like it though. Lenni Lenape's, it's good. Pizza, it's good. It's like Luigi Pizarro's from Crime Sports.
Just Lenni a bunch Lenape's. Of L's, N's, A's, and I's. That's
Lenni Lenape slices. Come on down. I got the crispiest, sauciest pie. You're not going to believe it. Yeah, I got cheesesteaks too, but we don't really do that as much. I know it's Philly, it's still.
That's not enough different letters. He needs more letters than that.
Lenny Lenape.
There's only a few letters in that. And he just fucking used a shitload of them.
He did. So Lenny Lenape sold his pizza place to Thomas Penn in 1737. Actually, the Lenny Lenape tribe of the Delaware Indians were there through the, I guess they called it a walking purchase. I don't know why that is. I don't get it. The home sites here were chosen close to water, basically, where there was water, to drinking water, pure spring water. And a lot of them were like at the entrance of valleys, as you'll find in Pennsylvania. Okay. And that's where they put towns there in the beginning, because I don't know why. I'm not sure. I know that's where there was spring water, apparently.
You gotta drink.
Gravity works and such. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on water and
this isn't River Talk.
This is not River Talk, as we've discussed before. River Talk with James and Jimmie. So people were trying to get like 50 to 100 acre plots there, and people built like cabins and log cabins and shit like that, and it was just kind of
50 to 100 acres.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That was cool. It was just nothing. There was nothing there, so it was like, well, shit. I guess take a big giant swath of it. There wasn't that many people either. Yeah, so a lot of these homes were right before the turn of the century to the 1800s. A lot of these homes were dismantled and replaced by more permanent homes. So these were like kind of throw it up. Winter's coming. You better get some logs up because this wind's going to start kicking. Yeah. Pennsylvania winter is no goddamn joke.
No, it's not.
No, you don't want to be in an Allentown winter. It's goddamn rough here. They did, apparently as 1789, the houses, 91 were log cabins, log houses. 3 houses were of stone and log together. I think it's just stone foundation, maybe with some logs stacked. And 5 were pure stone. Oh. Those must be the rich people. Yeah. Pure stone. We don't need logs.
They heard the 3 Little Pigs story.
Yeah. They're like, we're not doing this shit. Yeah.
Sticks come down.
That's what I'm saying. So that was, there was 99 dwellings then, and in 1998 there was 1,400 dwellings. Okay. So that's kind of where we go here. There was a lot going on with the American Revolution here, obviously, as you would imagine. So they had the Weisenberg militia, which was proprietor of the Bopst Manor House, organized the Weisenberg Associators, who became the Weisenberg militia, because that's what they used to do in these days, and even up to the Civil War.
Just defend your own town.
Well, these towns would just gather up you'd gather up a troop. Yeah. Whoever, like the town teacher or like whoever was the respected guy in town would be the troop leader, and he'd gather up the people from the town, and they'd be like, this is our fighting squad. Wow. And they'd go to train together. That's how. So that's why, like Civil Wars, when there'd be a massacre on one side, whole towns would be wiped out because regiments were towns. They didn't spread that shit out. Right. So it would be like everyone died. All the men under 24 died today. It's like, holy shit, all of them.
We're fucked.
It's crazy. Yeah,
it's going to change our age demographic for James later.
It's going to screw everything up. Screw the whole damn thing up. That's what happened, and then they drive me crazy.
Now it would be like gated community versus gated community.
Yeah, that would be a big thing. They just stay and hurl insults at each other. They post on online, Instagram,
or on that next door, next door
app, and they take pictures over the wall and shit like that.
Look at what these assholes are wearing.
Look at these idiots. Jesus Christ. Look at this lawn furniture all over the place. So this regiment went to New York and joined Washington's army and fought under General Sterling in the Battle of Long Island. Which, really? I don't know what you're fighting over Long Island for. I've been there.
That's fascinating.
Whoever wants it, let them have it, because it's a piece of shit.
Enjoy your Ferris.
Enjoy it. Yeah. So later on here, there was encampment at the Bopst Manor House to recruit and drill soldiers for Washington's army. So it was a big, like, this turned into like a very central part of some of the training and things like that. The British evacuated Philadelphia, and this militia was engaged in the pursuit of the British through New Jersey, which sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Doesn't it sound so funny that they were hunting the British through New Jersey? It's just so weird.
That is funny.
I don't know why it's just so ridiculous to hear that. I don't know why. They caught him in Atlantic City. Yeah. They caught the general, right? He was on a slot machine. He was having a good run. And they got him.
What a shit place to run.
Yeah, I would say so. For the first 200 years here, there was a German dialect here, which is known as Pennsylvania German. It's a different, it's kind of like Creole French.
Oh, boy.
It's a dirty German.
Yeah.
Which
so they say like water ice, that shit?
It's a weird, it's part German. It's a weird,
really?
It's its own language.
Oh, boy.
It's its own language.
Does any of them still exist?
Pennsylvania's a weird place. Yeah, well, prior to 1837, all business was conducted in Pennsylvania German.
Really?
Yeah, but deeds and agreements were recorded in English at the courthouses, but that was like the official language for a long time.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Now, Pennsylvania adopted a free school system at one point, and English was a school requirement, and Pennsylvania's German, though, was still spoken in the majority of the households in the early 1900s.
Wow.
Yeah, it's French Creole. It's the same thing here. So worship services by the churches were conducted in German until the 1920s when they started having English services, kind of like the Catholics had Latin services until the fucking 70s or whatever.
Super interesting.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So township meetings were conducted in Pennsylvania German all the way up to the 1970s. 70s, with English spoken only when new residents attended meetings or made requests for a translation into an actual language.
One that actually fucking exists.
Yeah, can you say that in an actual language, please? Because what you've made up is not a language.
Essentially, you guys are speaking pig Latin in here, and this is stupid.
It's really weird. I'm going to head down to Houma, Louisiana, where they speak Creole French, and it's a little better. I can understand. So, they had the school system here. The students were taught in English. They had an adoption of that, and then they built a bunch of one-room schoolhouses, and it was weird.
A bunch of them?
A bunch of one-room schoolhouses. Very, very strange here. In other schools, God damn it, the one-room schoolhouses weren't closed until 1951. Wow. So, I mean, that's how long they stay. This is like... It's practically Amish here.
Are they like bounced around the town?
German
these
Amish.
One-room house?
No, I feel like they're...
Are they all right next to each other?
No, they have them all over. Okay. One-room school, I guess, so for neighborhoods. They make it like a very much more local
That's so weird.
way of education, which sounds scary. And they're going to teach kids shit that doesn't...
Indoctrinate them into whatever
weird, Pennsylvania, Dutch, German weirdness.
Jesus.
So they had businesses, chocolate factory, carriage works, dairies, general stores, that sort of place here, blacksmiths, gunsmiths, everything like that. Finally, when they got a printing press going, that's when it really starts
jamming.
Starts cooking there here. Farming was the main industry, though, for the first 200 years until like this century when, professional farming is less for a family business anymore here. People in this town, 5,099 in the whole area and 27 square miles, up 57% since 1990.
Really?
So it's suburban. It's an hour away from Philly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could
commute, I suppose.
You could commute. And Philly, when we go to Philly and we talk to people, no one in that city lives in that city.
That's true.
I've never spoken to a person who lives in the city of Philadelphia. Everyone lives in New Jersey, or they live in somewhere in the burb. No one lives in Philly. It's a weird.
I think Steve Schnell lives in there.
Does he live in the city?
I think he does.
He probably lives in Jersey. Everybody lives in Jersey.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's super strange.
He's in PA somewhere.
He is. Yes,
somewhere close by, I imagine.
We like Steve Schnell. Here, the male population higher than the female population. That might be a jobs thing, as we'll talk about when we get to it. The average age here, median age, is 45.7, which is high. It's about 7 years older than our normal average, 8 years older. But it's not, when you look at the demographics, it's not like there's a shitload of old people, not a lot of kids. Right. It's pretty much everything's on course. There's just more 45-year-olds than 35-year-olds, it seems. It's not that out of whack. Seems like a place where you would go if you were 40, if you waited till you were 38 to have kids and, had made a little bit of money and moved your family out to there where you have kids, but you're still 47, 48 years old instead
this joint is expensive
37,
as fuck,
38.
isn't it?
So there you go. It's going to be, anytime we have these, they're expensive. Married population, 63%, which backs up my theory of families, older families moving there. There are always higher marriage rates here. Currently married is higher. The never married is it's usually a third of the population population ever married here. It's 21%. Divorce rate is low. Widow rate's a little bit high, but nothing crazy there. Here, as we look at all this stuff, like single with no children, lower than normal. It's not a lot, just everything's single, lower. It's a married town. Race of this town, 93% white. Yeah. So pretty goddamn white. 0.0% black.
That's not it, huh?
I don't understand how is that possible an hour away from Philadelphia? Yeah. How is that possible? Yeah. I don't understand. That seems on purpose. It has to be. Like, there's no either on purpose on one side or the other. Like, man, we're not fucking going there, or we don't fucking want them here. One of the two.
Could be both.
Maybe it's maybe it's, you know what, we don't
want to go there. Well, good, because we don't want you.
Mutually, we've decided to not push forward with this relationship. 0.4% Asian. Yeah, not a lot of Asians. 5.9% Hispanic. It's a white town. Yeah. It's 51% of the people here are religious, which is about average. 21% Catholic, because Catholics are the Baptists of the North, as we know. Some Lutherans here also. Some German holdovers, I feel like there. 1% Jewish.
How about that?
There we go.
They got one.
They got one. See,
one solid percent.
What's that? Like 6 times we've gotten to do that? Maybe 5 in the whole existence of the show. 132 episodes. 5 towns have 1% Jewish people. That's interesting. 0.9% Islam too. So it's, there's some people there of different persuasions. 50% of the people politically voted Democrat in the last election, 45% Republican, about 5% independent, as you would tell if you do math. Yeah. The economy here, unemployment rate's about average. It's a little over 4. It's in the ballpark, which for this area, that's
pretty good.
It's a big comeback from what it was
pretty
back
solid.
in the day. Not a bad deal here. Median household income normally in the rest of the country $57,000. Here it is $94,190. Yeah, so this is what I mean. You move here to get away from the city and to move somewhere nice to have a yard for the kids and shit like that. Job wise though, a lot of construction that's higher than normal. Manufacturing is double the normal rate here. So it's a lot of that. There's some white collar stuff too, but it's actually below average. So people, I feel like, people that make a lot of money probably aren't working here. Yeah. They're working somewhere else and coming here to sleep at night, sort of thing. Cost of living, 100 is average, regular par. Here it is 127. So it's a little bit high. Most of the things are pretty close to normal, except for housing, which is a 170. Okay. So it's a little high. Median home cost $333,700.
But everybody's making $100,000.
Yeah, that's great. It fits sort of. And you can find some houses that are, if you don't mind having a little fixer-upper, you can find some houses with some decent land and stuff like that. When I look at the houses, most of them seem to be about 65% of them are between $200,000 and $400,000. That's your average. And if we've convinced you, the only place for you is Weisenberg, Pennsylvania. We have the Weisenberg, Pennsylvania Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,130. So kind of in the average, that's basically $20 off the average here. Houses, I found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,856 square foot house here.
Good house.
It's rough. Yeah. It needs a lot of work.
It's big.
It's big. It's nice. It's got good bones, nice land, good yard, but it needs a shitload of work. It's rough. $159,000. Okay. You need to really work it before you move in. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I found a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,240 square foot house here, and this is nice and ready to move in and stuff like that. $330,000, which seems to be your average home there.
Got it.
2,200 for 330 grand is average price. And then I found something. This is on a really nice yard. It's a brick house. It's gorgeous. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,200 square feet.
Holy shit.
Really nice house. Really cool house if you wanted to live back there. This is the type of house you'd want.
It's only 3 bedrooms.
It's only 3 bedrooms.
That means some big-ass rooms are in that house.
Big fucking rooms. Yeah. Big family rooms. Probably a big basement, I would assume.
Big-ass kitchen.
$450,000. So
not awful.
Not awful if you want to do that. Now, things to do in this town. Wow. I found, it's called I don't even know, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, so I had to do it. The Spoit Yar Fest, but it's FESHT Fall Festival.
F-E-H-T.
It's okay. Spoatyar.
Yeah.
That's the first word. Spoatyar, I assume. And then the second word is F-E-S-H-T.
No.
Fest,
These
I guess.
are not words.
No. Fall festival. I'm so confused about this, even after looking at their Facebook page and everything else. I really don't know why they're gathering. I'm still trying to figure it out.
They didn't give real words. Maybe those are like some. Maybe they're like when you
Pennsylvania
rearrange
to German. I feel like.
Yeah, it could be. Or you like rearrange the words. What is that thing called?
Maybe, yeah.
Whatever that thing is.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
An anagram.
Yeah, it is.
But
yeah,
it's
that's the one.
I don't know.
What is it? S-P-O-T. That could be tops.
Y-A-R. Yeah, guys, start writing this down. Let's do this. Wow.
Post-yeared, post-dairy? Post-dairy post?
Dairy Fall Fest. There's no dairy in there. I don't know where we got dairy
Didn't
from.
you say D-A-R-Y?
No, I did not say dairy at all. I said S-P-O-A-T-Y-A-H-R.
Oh, well, there's an H.
Post-hairy. Yes.
I'm just looking for.
Yes.
I'm looking for anything. I'm grasping at hairs.
Let's see what they have here. You're grasping at hair sounds.
I don't know what that is.
You better be falling off a cliff or something, or else you're really being a dick.
Jesus.
Well, it says join us for our annual festival. Okay, sure. Noon to 6 both days. All right. The theme this year is, quote, why didn't our ancestors identify their photos? Can you help? What does that fucking mean?
Well, if they're ancestors, what am I supposed to walk over and be like, that guy kind of looks like
That's
me?
what I mean. I don't understand. Can you help? How am I supposed to help?
I can't help.
Oh, that's my Uncle Perb from 1827. Yeah, I know him.
I never met the fucking guy. I don't know what he looks like.
There's pictures all over my house of the guy. Ooh, no. Our buildings will be open with new displays. Okay, where? Why? What buildings? Including our new displays in the top of the barn. Okay, that's a clue. There's a barn.
That's what it is. If you can figure out this invitation, you could be here.
They close it out wonderfully here. Children's activities, animals.
Okay,
to pet, to feed, to look at. I don't fucking know.
They'll be here.
Baked goods, good food, and food trucks. There'll be good food and also food trucks, but not both.
Well, there are animals, so maybe they're going to make the animals.
You know how I feel about eating food from a truck while I fucking smell diesel fuel. It's just, I feel like there's better ways of delivering the food. That's all. There's a better delivery system than that.
Have a grilled cheese. Well, yeah.
Hey, is there a place I can go where I can stand in the sun, while I can feel even hotter air coming from a fucking window and smell diesel fuel and wait for a bunch of people to sweat because they're sweating profusely? No one in a food truck isn't pouring sweat, sweating all over my barbecue sandwich that you're going to give me, my pulled pork that I can't get anywhere else but from a truck. No. So anyway, if you work on a construction site, I get it. But if there's people that get out of their homes, get in their cars, and go find a food truck thing, I'm going to go to that truck. No.
The food trucks show up to office buildings now as like...
I understand.
No, but as a reward from the management.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
That's cheap shit. Take me to a fucking restaurant and pay the tab, you cocksuckers.
Thank you.
Stop. Don't have some dude bring $4 worth of basket meals to people here.
Get some walls and I'll try your food. How's that? Make it so an engine doesn't have to be running while I'm eating, and then we'll talk about it.
Sucking in your goddamn diesel fumes.
So good food and food trucks, both.
Got it.
In case you want to be cheap, there's that. Demonstrations and vendors. Demonstrations of what? What the fuck are you talking about?
And vendors of what?
Music on Saturday by the Rehrig Brothers.
Oh, boy.
R-E-H-R-I-G. I know people are going to...
That's an anagram, too.
People are going to tweet at us saying what, fucking Grammy Award-winning, amazing, they're legendary, whatever, Pennsylvania, German, Dutch band. I don't know, but we've never heard of the Rehrig Brothers. It's like Lou Gehrig, but with an R.
No,
Rehrig.
That's not a word.
Rehrig Brothers, and on Sunday by Country Rhythm. I don't know.
This is the most vague invitation I've ever heard.
And then the last line, they almost acknowledge that the last line is, quote, come out and see what we're all about. They're like, we have a real shit festival. Rather than oversell, let's keep it super vague.
Like crazy.
People are going to be just peak curiosities.
Grab that curiosity with Rehrig.
Can you help?
Do you know
the Rehrig Brothers are coming? Come see what we're all about. Maybe they'll stop by.
We'll have good food and bad food.
I don't know. It's both. Come on by. So that is the vaguest, weirdest thing to do we've ever we've ever come across.
You know what, though?
I still don't know what they're doing.
Oftentimes they go too far, and they tell us all the things, and you're like, there's no fucking way I'm going to that.
Last week they said it was the greatest event ever. Ever. These people are like, come see what we're all about. I don't know.
Could be good.
Could be good. We don't know. Yeah. We're not sure. We haven't done it yet. It's coming up. The Rarick brothers, they might just, throw up on stage and slip and fall down in it.
They might not even show up.
Who knows?
I don't even know if they're from Allentown.
Country Rhythm might have to do both days. We're not positive. So, crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, crime rate, property crime is about half the average. So it's it's a suburban, older, you could tell just by the stats that it's not going to be a real crime-ridden town. Violent crime here, less than half the average.
Yeah.
So very safe, very not full of crime, a place where people go, move away from the city and raise their precious little children with a bigger yard.
Right.
And where they can keep an eye on them. So that said, let's talk about a murder.
All right.
That happened here. What do you say?
Was it somebody, did they murder the people that wrote that flyer?
Let's hope
for
so.
the in Vegas block?
They showed up at the festival and they said, I came to see what you're all about. You said there was good food and food trucks. You told you sold me this bill of goods. You said demonstrations.
Demonstrate, you son of a bitch.
I have seen no one demonstrate a fucking thing since I've been here, and I'm a little disappointed about it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed about it. So, a murder.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Murder here. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rothy's.
ROTHYS.com.
You know it. It's no surprise. Rothy's has over 1,000 nearly perfect reviews. They're stylish, sustainable, comfortable, washable, really the perfect flats for life on the go. And these Rothy's, they don't make men's shoes, so we've not worn these. They don't. But Sarah, my wife, wears them, and I know Emily.
My Emily loves them.
They love these shoes. Yeah. If we go somewhere out of town and they come with us, they absolutely bring these to walk in. Yeah. These are their walk-in shoes. Yeah. You'll see them with I'm wearing the Rothy's tonight, and that's happening. We have to walk. Yeah, these are coming with me. So super comfortable. You really need these shoes. Since Rothy's are seamlessly crafted from recycled water bottles, they're ultra comfortable as soon as you slip them on. There's zero break-in period. They're just immediately comfortable and ready to go long distances, and they're fantastic. Plus, they're constantly launching new styles, so you're guaranteed to find a pair or 3 or 5 alive that you love. Better yet, Rothy's are manufactured in a zero-waste factory, and they ship directly in the shoebox. No unnecessary packaging. Rothy's thinks of everything. Rothy's always come with free shipping and free returns and exchanges. No risk, no worries. There's no reason not to try Rothy's, everybody. You'll quickly discover why BuzzFeed called them their, quote, forever shoes. That's sweet. Very nice. Check out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/town. Go to rothys.com/town to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Go get them. Head to rothys.com/town today.
And now back to the show.
Let's start. Let's go back in time, Jimmy. Not too far. Not too far. We're not going back. I like when we go back to like the 70s for some reason.
That's fine.
I love our 70s cases because you got to put everything in the filter of the 70s.
Well, also,
which is fun.
I wasn't there, so I have to assume.
That's the other thing.
And I have to take it all from what I've seen in movies, and the movies that I've seen, well documented, are shitty representations of time periods.
Totally. That's what I'm saying. So this time we're going back to 1991, a time we're both familiar with.
Yeah.
We were both very much alive in 1991 and doing...
Trying to figure out who the fuck I was.
Trying to figure it all out. Yeah. I was a mess in 1991. A goddamn disaster. About to have a growth spurt.
Yeah.
Very, very bad. I was still short and fat at this point in my life.
I'm still the same size.
So, perfect. Perfect. So we'll go back to January 6th, 1991 in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So the holidays have just passed.
Yeah.
91, still kind of tough times around that area.
What day?
January 6th.
Okay.
So
I'm still disappointed from Christmas.
Yeah, we're both super
I'm still
upset.
looking at the shit my mom got me going, really?
Thanks a lot. But for me, the Giants will win the Super Bowl in about 3 weeks. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
That's good shit. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but they're going to injure Joe Montana soon. In like a week, they're going to break Joe Montana into 12 pieces, have that dirt clump hanging off his helmet. You know how great that was? I want to go back there just for that. Yeah. So anyway, back there, let's talk about a young lady first. Let's talk about Stacy. Young Stacy Novataski. She is 15 years old at this point in time. Young Stacy, they live in Weisenberg. Her family, and we'll talk about her family, but they're newer to the area. Yeah. They haven't been here quite a year yet. So it's a new thing. She goes to work on Sunday, January 6th. She's 15 years old. She's got a weekend job, which, I mean, that's nice. Good for her. She's hustling. Her job is at Roy Rogers in Trexlertown.
Yeah.
You know what Roy Rogers is?
It's a terrible burger joint.
If you're not
it's bad stuff.
Some people, I don't think they have it everywhere, but Roy Rogers is like a kind of a Western themed burger place.
Stuff.
I haven't been there since I was 11 probably, so I don't remember if it was good or bad. I remember they had burgers and like fried chicken too. Fried chicken was big there.
It was bad.
And racist Nan loved Roy Rogers. I'm not kidding. My grandmother, racist Nan, not grandma who's alive now, racist Nan who's dead, she absolutely adored Roy Rogers. She would go there because she was so fucking cheap.
Yeah.
She felt that when she went to Roy Rogers, because there was a, quote, fixins bar where you dressed up your burger.
She was balling.
She was fucking balling because she'd stack it with lettuce and tomato and onions and pickles and all this shit.
As many as she wants.
As much as you want. She felt that was value then. So she wouldn't go anywhere else because they'd skimp on all that shit. So she'd go to Roy Rogers and take me there and make sure to tell me to get more lettuce and tomatoes. I'm like, why is it better if I don't want it? I don't want 8 tomatoes on a hamburger. They slide out. It's weird.
And you can't taste the burger. It's all tomato.
It's terrible.
What are we
probably
doing?
For the best at Roy Rogers.
Probably.
But yeah.
I mean, it's just a step below Fuddruckers.
That's all.
But
Their fried chicken was pretty good, if I remember correctly. But I don't remember. It was 92 was probably the last time I had it. So.
It's not good.
I'm not positive.
It's fast food, James. It's not good.
Yeah, but there's fast food. Popeyes is pretty goddamn good fried chicken. I'm sorry. You can get it in 2 seconds out a window, but it's goddamn good.
Raising Cane's is insanity.
I don't like Raising Cane's.
Oh,
dry.
My God.
It's dry and weird.
Oh, you had somebody ruin yours then, because I've never been there where it was dry. It's always juicy and incredible.
Popeyes is like so good homemade fried chicken. It's so goddamn good.
And the breading is super crispy.
Good. It's crispy, but it's not overwhelming like KFC's crap.
Oh, God, when you take a bite of it, it's all bread.
It's all bread. And you're like, where's my chicken? I'm dead dig for chicken. No, Popeyes is good shit. God damn it. Go get Popeyes. Is there going to be
a fucking chicken cook's hand in here? Because there's so much breading.
It could be anything. It could just be a worker baker's foot, breaded very heavily. If you get the extra crispy, you'd never know because you're full by the time you get to whatever the meat is. You've eaten 6 inches of breading. It didn't gnaw through.
So bad.
So, she works at Roy Rogers, which, remember having a teenage fast food job? Did you ever have a teenage fast food job?
Pizza joint.
Yeah, I worked at, that's not fast food.
It's fast food.
Was it a
Peter Piper? That's
fast food pizza. That's never mind. You're right. That's not a restaurant.
No.
I worked at a pizza place, but it was like a good Italian restaurant that also made pizza.
This is fast pizza.
Yeah, no, that's shit.
This is just essentially
it's kids putting it in a machine and going through. I had a crazy Albanian immigrant that was crazy and like an artist with the pizza, that sort of. No.
This may as well be Lunchables that you ran through an oven.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. One of those terrible ovens that makes
the ketchup sauce
never makes things
so
good.
Gross.
I worked at Taco Bell for 2 days.
Really?
Yeah, for 2 days.
I don't know. I never worked at like that kind of place.
Yeah, I had to scrub the beans out of the pan at one point.
I'd quit too.
And I went across the street and got a job at the pizza restaurant on my lunch break. Literally went over there in my Taco Bell uniform and got a job. It's like, I can't do this anymore.
I can't do this shit.
Went back to Taco Bell. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Literally, was like, I'm done with those beans and I'm out. Peace, bitches, and fucking started the next day at the pizza place
for my $3.
I literally, my check was like $31 because I was making minimum wage in 1996. So
$4 an hour,
not
$5.15.
Great. I think it was $5.15 is what I was making back then. So very, very sad, and I didn't even finish my shift. I'm leaving, but not only does she work there, but her mom works there as well.
Okay.
Which is not, that's Jesus Christ.
So sad.
Her mom, Rosemary, also works at Roy Rogers. So it's a mother-daughter Roy Rogers team here. But she's not there that day. Today, it's just Stacy working. She goes in the morning.
Good news for Stacy. She's got potential to get better.
Stacy's just working. She's getting a paycheck. She's 15. She's hustling, man. Now, in the house with Stacy. Stacy's 15 years old. She lives with her mom, Rosemary Flood, who's 42. She's got her dad, or her stepfather there, who is 45 at this point, or 44. Her dad's David Flood. Also, her brother, Todd Novataski. Her sister, who's 18, Todd is. Her sister, Carrie Lynn Novataski, who's 17. And then Carrie Lynn's boyfriend, Michael Fadden, is 21 years old. And they all live in the house together. 21 and 17, and they live together.
That's illegal.
Fuck that. Not only is it illegal, that'll
in your house,
leg
in my
break.
house,
that's leg breaking.
Fucking ruin
Are you kidding me? Right away, I don't like the permissiveness.
No.
And I'm not a fucking, it's cool to be a cool parent or whatever, but 21, 17, my house ain't not happening. No, I'm
absolutely
sorry.
Not.
You're not getting on my property. If you're 21 and your intention is to talk to my 17-year, because I have a 17-year-old daughter. Trust me.
You don't want a 21-year-old over here.
They're not coming over here. I will stop that shit in the yard without being shy at all.
I will be in my yard. He will not enter my yard.
No, I will go hardcore old man on you in a minute. I will age.
Fuck out of here.
I'll age 20 years and turn into a. I don't care. It's happening. Stay away from my 17-year-old.
Yeah.
As I say that, some kid's coming over because they're going to a concert tonight, but he's in her class. They're same grade.
She's performing in it?
No. They're going to a concert.
They're going to watch it.
To watch it.
Oh, boy.
Which is nice, but they're friends. It's nothing weird. They're just friends. But still, it's not, well, I mean, he's not like a 21-year-old creep. No, they're just friends, and they're not like.
But if he's her age, it's still weird, motherfucker.
Oh, I'd still. Yeah.
We still got problems. We still got to chat, and I don't trust you.
Her friend from choir class.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is all right. This is fine.
It's closer.
Be careful.
Still don't trust him.
Be careful. Careful, Chief. Put it that way.
How do you do? I'm Italian.
How
Pleasure
you doing?
to meet you.
Nice
What's
to
your
meet
name?
Come on inside.
Don't worry about my name. I'm Italian.
Sit down.
Fuck out of here.
Or just let the two dogs. Just don't introduce them to the dogs and let them make them uncomfortable.
How you doing? I'm Italian. These are mine.
These are mine.
Just walk around. Keep them on leashes in the house.
That's hilarious. These are mine. They really like my kid. They'd be real upset if something happened to her. You know what I mean? You know how that goes,
I can't let go of the I can't let go of the chains. I can't.
They will eat you. Yeah. I just can't do it.
I don't trust. Look, I don't know what they'll do.
I'm not positive.
I don't trust it.
I don't trust it, and I don't want to have to be responsible for the consequences. That's all I'm saying. That's all I mean. Come on.
Have a good time.
Bye. Wave at the door. See ya. Have fun.
Enjoy yourself.
I'm tracking her iPhone. Bye. I'll find you.
I'm tracking her iPhone with a fistful of dog leashes.
As I wave and smile politely.
That's good.
That's going to be good
That's
stuff.
That's happening tonight.
That's going to happen as soon as we're done here. So, yeah. So, anyway, so she lives in this house with her family, extended family, stepdad, brothers, boyfriend of too old boyfriend for a 7. Not even the 18-year-old, the 17-year-old he's got to go out with. Are you out of your fucking mind?
The 18-year-old
boys, Todd. Well,
I'd be more acceptable.
You know what? That's what I mean. That's what I said. I'm lenient.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know.
Fine with it.
If Todd wants to fuck Michael Fadden, that's his fucking prerogative. He's 18 years old. That's his business. I don't care. I'm not going to tell him not to be gay. Be as gay as you want to be. I don't give a shit.
She's 17. We don't do that.
You're gay. Be as gay as you can be. I don't give a shit. My kid or not. Have fun. I'm not. That's not the type of parent I am. But 21 and 17.
No.
Now we got a problem.
Benny!
Yeah, dogs.
Frankie, where you at?
Go. They're probably going to hear. We're going to hear him at the door up there. Jesus Christ. So this day, on January 6, 1991, young 15-year-old Stacy's on her shift at Roy Rogers, and she's told she can leave early. I guess she got cut.
Okay.
It's fast food, it's whatever. You're scheduled.
Not busy.
Right. You can go home, Stacy.
She's been here earliest. Go home.
Yeah, you can go home. So she's pretty studious too. So I assume she's probably one of the better workers they have. So she's told she can leave early. So she calls her house to get a ride because she's 15 and she can't drive, and it's January and she's not going to walk home in the freezing cold. So her stepfather answers, David Flood, David H. Flood. He's who's home and to answer the phone. It's a Sunday morning. She said, "Can you pick me up?" He said, "No problem. Pick you up in about a half hour. I got a couple things to finish up around the house." That's what he told her. He said, "I'll be there in a minute. No worries. Give me a half hour." So no big deal. She'll hang at the Roy Rogers and make an extra $2.25 or whatever. Make an extra $2.27. What the hell? A half hour? Why not?
I'll be there in 8 quarters.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Be there in about 8:05.
Yeah.
8:07, is that what that is?
Don't play an arcade game because you'll blow your whole salary. That's the problem here. My God.
How horrible.
Jesus. So David Flood here. David's been a truck driver by trade. He's a truck driver. He's worked for several different companies, as we'll talk about here. He's married to Stacy's mom, and things seem to have been going well. They lived in Connecticut earlier, and we'll talk about when they moved to Pennsylvania. But just lately, David's been out of work here through the holidays. Yeah. He's been out of work as a truck driver, and so they've been having a few financial difficulties lately, the last couple months, making ends meet. Yeah, on a Roy Rogers salary. It's kind of difficult here, when you take the trucking salary out of there. So it's been a little rocky, just lately, but not too bad though. They haven't been, they're not fighting in the yard and having
knockdown dragouts.
It's not small town murder level of strife, as we've talked about sometimes, when neighbors are looking out the window while one of them's swinging a lawn chair at the other one, and the other one's swinging a weed whacker at him, and it's insane.
Then somebody runs in with a gun and shoots everybody.
And a totally separate person who has nothing to do with any of it comes in with a rifle and shoots them both, and then runs away in his underwear. And you're like, okay, what the fuck just happened? That's usual small town murder, domestic strife. Here, it's just been a little bit. We have less money than we need, and just that tension that goes on. Gee, no one's ever experienced a little tension over finances in marriage. So yeah, that's just the way marriages are. So basically they're just normal, it seems like here. Now, Jerry Hudson, who's a friend of theirs, he was a caretaker at the property where Flood used to hunt. David Flood hunted, and they became friends, and Jerry's wife and Jerry and the Floods would hang out basically and do their thing, and they'd hang out on weekends, sometimes on weeknights after work. They'd hang out, and have a couple drinks and all that sort of thing. They would hang out and chat during the weekends while basically they were moving into this house, and they were polishing shit and doing things like that. I guess Flood, they would clean polish their copper bottom pans.
Oh, okay.
All the time.
Yeah.
Which, wow, that sounds like a boring existence.
Yeah, but when you use them a lot, that bottom has to be clean because it's so gross. Like, if anything boils over, it sticks to that shit.
But it would be like on the weekends, be like, you're going to come over and talk while I clean the copper bottom pans, and that's what they would do.
It's not a nice afternoon.
It seems not exciting.
No.
I'm going to go over to... No, honey, I got to go to Dave's. He's cleaning the copper bottom pan. I really got to be there for that. You know how it is.
Haven't you seen? He gets them so clean. It's amazing.
It's pretty wild. He polishes them up, and you should come too if you want, but don't really, because it's a guy thing. You know how it is. It's a guy thing to watch each other polish some copper. Yeah. So he says, though, his wife, Kim Hudson, she says, quote, David did everything for the kids. He would spend rent money to make sure they had what they wanted. Aww. Which is nice, but probably not smart.
But how about we spend the rent money on the rent?
I was going to say, how about we pay the rent first, and then we'll worry about that, because what they want is probably somewhere to sleep first, and then Nintendo and Sega.
What they want and what they
PlayStation,
need, two different
progressively.
Things. That's the same thing. The thing I heard every day of my entire life as a kid.
Well, kids want a ton of shit. They also need shit, like food and places to live and electric and stuff. Yeah, that's the shit first, and then you get what they want based on,
shelter, food.
Cover that first.
Shelter, clothes, food. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Shelter, food, and water.
Something like that.
And clothes.
Yeah,
those are what you need.
Those are necessities. Those are necessities. The basics. So they said that Floyd, David, I keep calling him Floyd. It's Flood. Damn it, David Flood, not Floyd.
Right.
So David here once spent more than $300 for a new bow and arrows for 18-year-old Todd.
What?
Because Todd wanted to bow hunt.
Yeah.
And so he also bought Todd a rifle and showed him how to hunt and showed him how to take care of the weapons and clean everything and, how to, clean animals if you hunt and things like that.
I mean, if you got no money, at least we can eat.
That's the thing. You know what? I had to buy. You really wanted that Sega Genesis. So I bought it, which is great. But now we have to go hunt our food.
Right.
That's the problem.
You give a man a fish, teach a man. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. So he was teaching him. Apparently, David was really, really obsessive about gun safety with the kids. Like he wanted the kids to know about the guns but know very, very, he was very regimented about this is how you take it out, this is what you do, and there's no fucking around.
Absolutely.
And he was really, really studious about that, which is good.
Absolutely.
That's how you fucking should be when you're teaching children how to use deadly weapons. You should probably teach them
fingers off the trigger,
safety shit. Probably it's kind of like food and shelter.
Yes.
Get that first and then worry about the rest of the shit.
You teach them how to handle it before you actually put it in their fucking hand.
That's a good thing here. So now David Flood bought Todd, the 18-year-old, a 1967 Chevy Nova and helped him restore it.
Oh.
This guy's the greatest stepfather in the world.
I love him.
Wow, what a great stepfather. Think about this shit. He cares about the kid.
Yeah.
He teaches him to hunt, teaches him to care for the weapon. I mean, if that's what he's into.
Gives him the weapons.
Gives him the things, teaches him how to use it, teaches him how to do everything, buys him a 67 Nova, which is pretty fucking cool.
Fun car.
That's awesome. And then helps him restore it.
Incredible.
And they did it together and probably bonded.
Yeah.
What a goddamn cool stepfather.
Yeah.
This is like a 2%er, this guy. There's very
These
few.
guys don't exist.
Very few of these guys exist in the world. So, they're lucky that they got
Was he not able to have kids? What's going on with this guy?
I don't know.
Why is he so amazing to these kids?
I guess he didn't have his own kids.
I want him as mine.
So that's what I mean. Good guy here.
I'm 38. I'll still take him.
Yeah, come on, Dad.
Let's go.
Why
Come on
not?
over, Mr. Flood.
Let's go.
I'll change my last name, babe.
It's okay.
I got no attachment to that man.
To Whisman. You could change it on social media. No, it doesn't matter.
That's easy.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You're the guy on the show. It's fine.
Fuck it.
In 2 weeks, they'll all know you by your new name.
Flood, so much easier to
Jimmy
spell.
Flood.
Yeah.
Jimmy Flood from Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports. I know him. That's all. They'll 2 weeks. They'll forget your name was Whisman.
Oh, man, I'll buy the shell. Come over and help me restore it. Let's go.
Great. You could really do that nowadays too. Like back in the day as a comic, you could never change your name. If you called yourself Jimmy Chuckles on day one, you're fucking Jimmy Chuckles because that's what. But
forever.
With podcasts, you could literally change your name tomorrow. In a year, people would be like, his name wasn't always Jimmy Flood.
Or they'd be like, that James got a new co-host. He sounds just like the old guy. He's great.
He's giggly. Yeah. I'm okay. I'm on board. He giggles. He tells dick jokes. I like this guy. He's good stuff.
They'd probably have a better
Butchers my name at the end of the show.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
They're like, I like this guy better. That other guy was a dick.
Yeah, this one's a lot nicer. I think about it. He's a lot nicer. He balances.
That's kind of the benefit here. I could be anybody I want. If I had the benefit of being able to throw my voice and change, like if I could do characters, I could be somebody different every week,
true.
James. That would be amazing.
Well, I feel like you're supposed to be the nice one.
Yeah.
Because I'm a dick.
I am pretty nice.
But you're also a dick. It's pretty fun. We've taken it
only when they deserve it.
Well, we've taken it to a place though where there is no good cop, bad cop. No. It's just bad cop and
worse cop.
Isn't he a dick? I'm a dick too. Dickier cop.
Bad cop and monster cop.
Yeah.
And we can play either role.
Asshole cop and dick cop. It depends on how it works. So, Jesus Christ.
And we are fucking it.
Oh, my God. So the Hudsons also were to talk about how David devoted lots of time and money to the family dogs also. So the family kids, he's a caretaker. Yeah. The kids, the dogs, they had a Doberman named Samson and a collie named Baby. Okay. And he said that they, he cared for them. He was always bathing them and taking care of them and taking them. He said he would spend tons of money having them dipped for fleas and groomed and all that shit, which a Doberman's pretty short hair. I don't know how much grooming do you need to do. You can hose him down every once in a while.
You probably dip him at home.
Yeah, hose him down. You put some dog shampoo on, shampoo him up.
Oil shit
like Frankie. We bathe Frankie. Sure. She loves it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
But a collie's a nightmare.
Oh, all that hair.
Good
take
God.
That now. Even Benny we take because he hates water.
Oh.
So if a 125-pound dog doesn't want to be bathed, it's not an easy.
It doesn't get bathed.
It's just not an easy task. You have to take him to one of the things where they have to put him in where he can't move.
Right.
Yeah, he's one of those.
One of those chambers.
Yeah. You can't. 3 people can't hold him down.
I mean, you could walk him through a car wash. That should do it.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ. His neck is bigger than my thigh is the problem, so you can't, hold him or do anything. So he's a good guy is what it is. Dipping the dogs for fleas and taking care, buying the stepson a Nova and all this shit.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Now, friends also said that he told some tall tales once in a while, David Flood, which people do. He would tell tall tales about his connections to the mob. He would say he had mob connections and, other illegal stuff. I know guys and I make a phone call, stuff like that, where there's so many people like that who are they're full of shit and they're just running their mouth.
On the East Coast?
Oh,
millions.
It makes them feel important and it makes them feel like they're a tough guy or it makes them feel something because
every guy with black hair on the East Coast or nearby is fucking connected.
No, they
quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Most of the time they are a little bit, but this
probably
yeah. But sometimes no. So but a lot of people just make shit up.
Of course.
Also, they make shit up, and that's a harmless lie that you tell to kind of boost up your own ego. Right.
Sure.
Especially if you're a guy and you're trying to,
of course,
seem like a big shot.
A little machismo.
A little machismo.
Get the kids to, I don't know, what's envy you? Look up to you a little more?
He wasn't telling the kids about
it.
Hey,
telling
kid,
the neighborhood?
It's bedtime. Hey, I'll make one fucking phone call if your leg's fucking broken if you don't go to bed right now.
You're going to wake up with Samson's head in your fucking bed.
Tell you something, yeah.
I'm going to stop dipping him.
Nobody wants
head full of fleas.
Nobody wants a collie head in their bed when they wake up. Nobody needs that. Yeah. So, he's telling his friends, though, I got mob connections.
Sure.
But, whatever. He's
drinking.
He's not saying I killed 12 guys and we buried them and I'm a mob hitman or anything. But I
know
like
a dude that might have.
He's going, I know some guys back where I used to live.
Sure.
Some stuff like that here. So, but nobody ever took it seriously or whatever. He would go between trucking jobs, basically. Trucking job to trucking job. And I don't know how the trucking industry works, but a lot of the truckers seem to go from company to company. I think it's because these companies give signing bonuses.
Sure.
So if you've worked somewhere and there's another company trying to hire and then they have for a couple months they have a good signing bonus, these guys will jump ship and go to another one.
That's kind of the game.
It's money, man.
Yeah. That's the game. You just move from trucking company to trucking. And sometimes some just pays a little more. You're doing the same shit.
Why not?
Why not go over there?
That's what I mean.
Pension's the same. I mean, there's 401k. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's not. At the end of the day,
everybody
$4 more an hour makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference. Yeah. So why not? Yeah. So he would do that too. His longest stint apparently was his longest job was for a place called Stroman's Bakery in East Hartford, Connecticut, because they lived in Connecticut first here. So he worked there for a while. Now, just about everybody in the family was working too. I mean, the kids worked. The 15-year-old worked. The mother worked at Roy Rogers. He's trucking. Everybody's doing things, but apparently the Floods were always behind on bills. They were, even though they made decent money, they were perpetually a month behind and needed this, and I get a quick loan and
buying guns, buying cars.
That's the thing. They were living a slightly above their means, and they were trying to really enjoy their lives on less money than they could use. Basically, rent too. They're behind on rent a lot. They're always kind of one disaster away from
it all falling down.
Figuring it out, of being just everything falling apart.
He's working to live, not living to work, which can be fine as long as you're on time with everything. You're not in a position where a broken leg fucking puts everybody homeless.
Yeah, paycheck to paycheck is always fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's so hard.
That's
a
life that we all live.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's what he's doing here. Sure. And it's a lot of people are like this here. Now, they said they did way more. Their friends always said they did way more spending than saving. They weren't big savers. They would whatever they had, they were spending.
Jesus.
They were just going. They were spending. They said that David actually made what she called good money while trucking. Their friend said he made good money. He, I guess, Rosemary had told her friend the year before that the 1990 their income was together, David and Rosemary, was about $90,000.
Okay,
which in 1990
that's great.
Is fucking great. Yeah. 1990, you're making 90 grand a year. That's fantastic.
That means that dude is pulling down $84,000.
I was going to say he's making $87,800 a year. Apparently, then
he probably made somewhere in the neighborhood of 65.
That's
she probably brought in 25.
Yeah, she's probably an assistant manager at Rogers or something.
Yeah,
she's
probably
getting
20 grand, 25, 30.
Grand.
Yeah,
but he's
probably making $30 an hour trucking.
Yeah,
I'll bet that's what it is.
They're doing well, but if you make 90 grand a year in 1990, you should not be behind on your rent or your bills ever.
Your rent should be paid every month.
You should be putting money in the bank unless you live in a mansion, because 90 grand a year is a lot now.
Yes,
it's good money now.
It's great money.
It's fine. Yeah. So you could support a family on 90 grand today. In 1990, you could support the shit out of that family.
Crushing.
It's like making it's almost double, I think, from then to now, inflation wise.
Okay,
or it's probably like making 150 grand a year now or something. So they shouldn't be struggling, basically. No. But it's so weird because everybody, as we know with crime and sports, guys who we'll see all the time, guys are making $6 million a year, but they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
they're still
because they're living that.
They're spending up to the same way someone would with a minimum wage job. They're spending right up to what they make. So it's like, well, if I make 50 grand a month, I'm going to spend 50 grand a month.
More money, more problems.
Cool. My bills are 6 grand a month, so great, or whatever their bills are.
Bananas.
So I can save 44 grand a month. They go, well, I guess I got to get a bigger house. You don't need a bigger house, but I can get one, so I should, right?
No. God damn it. Get a smaller house.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's what I would do.
So David Flood was also an active member of the local Elks Club.
Okay.
He's just a man about town, trucking, helping stepkids and picking kids up, buying Novas, teaching people to hunt. He's a
karaoke down at the Elk Lodge on Tuesday night.
Baby, you know it. Jesus. He's got his hat on, his dumb Elks Club hat. I'm sure they all have to wear.
I don't think they have one. You've watched way too much Flintstones.
Yeah, I think they have. No, they have Elks Club hats.
No, they don't.
One. In my mind, they do. Let me have this, Jimmy. Let me have a bunch of these people sitting around Pennsylvania
just wearing elk
horns on their stupid hats. Shriner hats with elk horns, just sitting around.
I want that to exist.
Just drinking and smoking and bitching about their wives,
singing Allentown
repeatedly. Hey, you picked Allentown? Shit, that's mine too. Everybody picked Allentown. Fuck it. We're all doing Allentown.
Again.
We're all doing Allentown. Just over and over again, and it ends. The whistle over and over. And they watch the video repeatedly, and they go, yeah, the guy's asses, I get the artistic quality of it. I understand what they're going for. It's not bad. So let's all take a shower. What do you say? Huh? Let's take our hats off and take a shower.
Keep those out of the water.
Come on, again, you fuck up the hat. They're made of felt.
This is not the water buffaloes.
Yeah, Jesus. He helped set up and run benefits as well.
Wow.
Like he would set up and organize to run benefits for less privileged people and needy people. He even donated his camper for the Elks to convert to a lunch wagon to feed needy people.
What?
So this is what So
he made a fucking food truck for
so
him?
he gave them a food truck.
Yeah.
That's where the non-good foods are.
Yeah.
So this is amazing, though. So if we run down the list of David, he's a pretty good cat.
He looks good.
He's looking real good right now.
The Book of David is a good book.
It's good shit right now. Yeah. We go down. He likes the kids. He doesn't kill the 21-year-old, which helps a lot of restraint needed right there just for that. The whole thing. It's clear he's a good guy. He's buying Novas. He's helping hunt. So they converted Rosemary, the wife. She often would donate hot dog and hamburger rolls that she would buy while they worked. They both worked for that Stroman bakery. So she would buy hamburger and hot dog rolls at cost and donate them to the benefits, and they would do that. So they're donating a camper and a lot of the food.
That's a lot.
They're doing a lot here.
They don't need the hot dog and hamburger buns. You gave the fucking truck.
It's amazing. Yeah. And then they're giving buns too. So they're trying. These are nice people here. Yeah. So in April of 1990, they moved to Pennsylvania for Flood tells all his friends that he came there for a job with a family run trucking company. And they moved from Glastonbury, Connecticut is where they came, which is outside of Hartford, pretty close. And basically they kind of lost touch with their friends when they moved. And they had a very active social life, and he was still members of all these clubs. And when they moved, though, it just kind of, they lost touch, as you would. Because
that far? Yeah.
And if you're busy, too, it's 1990, so you have to think there's no texting, there's no email, there's no social media, there's no,
there's barely email.
There's no Facebook or Twitter or Instagram where you're like, oh, that's a cool new house you got in Pennsylvania. I hope you guys are liking the new place. Oh, good. I hope the kids are good. None of that shit goes on. You have to physically, to pick a phone up and dial a number and talk to another human being.
God, that sounds terrible.
Or physically write a letter and put it in a mailbox and, pay for a stamp and shit. Yeah.
It's
not easy to get in touch with people. And if you have that many kids and you're active and all that, you don't have time for that shit. You're moving on. Moving onward and upward here. So,
or moving out, as Billy Joel would say.
Or he's moving out and not to Allentown.
Right.
But they are. So, they go, the whole family, and Michael Fadden moves with them. He's from Connecticut.
Really?
So that's why he's living with them, because he's the daughter's boyfriend from Connecticut. So presumably they were together when she was at least 16 and he's 20.
Oh,
so that's when this presumably started, because they moved in April. So that's 7 months. So I'm just by math, there's more of a chance that her birthday would have been then. So,
and she probably threw a fit.
20 and 16. I'm like, he's 20. You're lucky I don't kill that motherfucker. Never mind, we're moving.
Well, you're not going to see him? Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
There's going to be 17-year-olds there.
Yeah.
Thank fuck.
Be lucky they don't find him in a river. And that's it. I have mob connections, remember. Maybe that's why he was telling people he had mob connections, to scare away the 20-year-old boys from his 16-year-old stepdaughters here. So, so they've been together for about a year, these two. So 16 and 20. Fuck no. And even possibly 15 and 19 based on the years and where they lie. That's no good.
Also, now he can buy beer and she can't even buy cigarettes. This is This is a big fucking
He can go out drinking and she can't do anything.
Nothing.
She can't buy a lottery ticket.
No.
And he can go out drinking. So that's going to be a weird relationship.
She's not even allowed to legally die for her country yet. Get the fuck back in the house.
So they apparently they were together, and apparently when the daughter found out that they were moving, she begged and begged and begged that he could come along. And, he's a rudderless kid, so he just goes with them to stay with his 16-year-old girlfriend, which is, no, I'm moving away to just be with my 16-year-old girlfriend and her family.
Right.
Dude, no. Go to college. Do something with yourself. Get a fucking job. Meet people your own age.
Enlist in the service, you fuck.
Yep. His mother says, though, that about Michael here, that, quote, he thought it would be a challenge to get a new job and a new atmosphere. He wanted a fresh start, which sometimes these...
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back.
Do it.
That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure, yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Small towns, you need a fresh start. It really is. It's like that.
But there's 2,500 people there in 1990.
That's what I mean. That's not
a fresh start. That's a fucking giving up.
Glastonbury is much
certainly
better.
Starting over.
He's from Vernon, Connecticut. So it's kind of
know where that is.
Parallel move. We'll put it that way. Parallel move. Everybody said he's real happy-go-lucky dude. He's a real. Every newspaper article describes him as happy-go-lucky. Everybody likes him. Good guy.
Okay.
Nice, not considered a malcontent or anything like that. He's not a brooding, dude with none of that shit. He's just a happy kid.
Doesn't have anything to prove. He's just
nothing to prove. Nice. He's not trying to be cool. He's just a nice guy, apparently. So maybe he's a little slow. And they were like, they're the same age in their heads. We don't know.
Happy-go-lucky does describe that as well.
That
you know what I mean?
They describe Forrest Gump as happy-go-lucky. You know what I'm saying? That's happy-go-lucky says to me, he's a little slow but a good guy. If you tell him exactly what to do, he'll do it. He'll get it done.
But don't write it down because he can't read it.
Just don't let him go off on his own. Don't tell him do this and then A or B. It's got to be A and then B and then C.
Tell him what to do and then sit there and watch. Yeah. Do that. That's what you do.
And he'll do it.
Yeah, he'll get it done.
He starts working at the Tridell Truck Center in Bartonsville when he moves there. So moving into a new town right away, just jumping right into the Tridell Trucking Center in Bartonville. Yeah.
That's a truck stop, right?
Fuck yeah, I assume so. Yeah, truck center.
Yeah.
I assume it's a truck. Either that or
it's a gas station.
Clean trucks. Right. I don't know what the hell they do.
It's a
here.
Gas station.
Everybody said he made friends very quickly.
I'm sure he did.
With his truck stop brethren. I don't know. What the fuck?
There are nice girls out there. No teeth. Sweet. Sweet as can be, though.
Sweet girls, though. Yeah. Very, very sweet and nice. Just
so
friendly.
Happy. Yeah.
Friendly. Happy-go-lucky. They're just happy-go-lucky, these young ladies. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Simply Safe.
SimplySafe.com. SIMPLI Safe.com.
You know it, Jimmy, but did you know this? On average, it takes police 45 minutes to respond to a home security alarm.
That's too long.
Almost an hour. Unacceptable. Right. Obviously, bad things could be happening in that 45 minutes. When a home security system is triggered, the police often assume it's a false alarm, and the call goes to the bottom of the list because everyone's always setting off their alarm system. But now with Simply Safe Home Security, it doesn't work like that because Simply Safe has video verification technology that helps police get to the scene up to 3.5 times faster, making their average police response time just 7 minutes.
Much quicker.
7 or 45, which sounds better to you when you're in trouble in your home or someone's breaking into your house. That's just one reason why Simply Safe Home Security is so different. Simply Safe also protects every door, window, and room with 24/7 professional monitoring starting at just $15 a month.
That's a deal.
You can't beat monitoring for $15 a month. Their prices are always fair and honest. No contract, hidden fees, no fine print, none of that stuff. They've won a ton of awards from CNET all the way to the New York Times Wirecutter, and even from us. We give that the Good Home Security Award from Small Town Murder because it's great. We both have it and it works wonderfully. Visit simplysafe.com/small right now and you'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. You've got nothing to lose here, everybody. Go now and be sure to go to simplysafe.com/small so they know that we sent you. That's simplysafe.com/small.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about The Real Real.
TheRealReal.com.
You know it, Jimmy. Own iconic luxury items at unreal values with The Real Real, the leading reseller of authenticated luxury from top designers. Shop from designers like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Rolex, Cartier, and hundreds more. All that stuff that you normally can't afford is up to 90% off retail here
Authentic.
At The Real Real. It's fantastic. New arrivals come in daily, and every single item is authenticated by The Real Real's team of experts. They employ over 100 brand authenticators, gemologists, art curators, everybody that can tell you if something's real from around the globe. They inspect thousands of items each day to ensure that every item is 100% authentic. Shop and consign women's and men's luxury fashion as well as fine jewelry, watches, art, home decor, everything. Shop online or visit one of their original stores in Soho or West Hollywood or even their newest location at 870 Madison Avenue in New York City. You can visit also one of their luxury consignment offices in Chicago, Dallas, Miami, San Francisco, or Washington, D.C., and new in-store customers receive an automatic $25 off at checkout. You can't beat that, and you can't beat The Real Real because it's one of these things where you get in a hole.
Yeah.
It's a real hole where you look at one thing and then you go, well, that's pretty cool. Well, look at that. And then that. Oh, maybe I can find that cheaper. And then you're The Real Real's competing with itself for prices because they have all these items. Well, that's cheaper than this item, and it's crazy. And you end up spending your afternoon doing that, and you're not sorry about it.
No.
That's the wonderful thing, because The Real Real is a lot of fun. So get on there, shop in store, online, or download the app and get 20% off select items with the promo code REAL. That's therealreal.com, promo code REAL for 20% off select items.
And now back to the show.
So he's happy, though. His mother said he was happy with his living arrangements. He was even paying rent. He wasn't freeloading. He was even paying rent to David and
the Floods.
The Floods. Yeah, they're paying rent, doing a good job here. So his mother said about him, quote, even though you did things for him, he always wanted to pay you back. He never took you for granted.
My man.
So he wasn't considered. This seems like there's no shitheads in this group.
Everybody's got a big heart.
Everybody seems like decent people. There's decent people. They spend money a little freely, but who doesn't? That's fine. That's nothing that you judge anybody on.
Right.
That's not a moral shortcking.
No.
That's just...
I've got money. I'm going to spend it
that's
on what I want, goddammit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So apparently... He even Michael got along well with Todd, the brother, who's he's 18
Same
years old.
age.
They're 3 years apart. Why not? They shared hobbies together, like their hobbies. This is okay. This is what I mean. Their hobbies aren't like going out and doing crazy shit. These are their hobbies: CB radios and ham radios.
Hell yeah,
that's what
What's
they do.
A ham?
It's like that. It's kind of like it's like you can like broadcast kind of with a ham radio. It's like a low wattage, your own little antenna of low wattage that you can broadcast out.
Is that like what's in Stranger Things?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay,
that's kind of what it is, except a more complicated.
Shortwave.
Yeah, it's a except instead of communicating, it's to broadcast.
Got it.
Which is what they were doing. They
so
were
it's not
broadcasting.
Got it. It's not taking any signal. It's only giving it.
I think, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
It might be taking it too. I'm not positive. It might be taking it right in the ham ass. I'm not positive. I can't give you.
It makes sense though. CB and ham, they're very similar.
I picture two kids sitting in the fucking basement and this is
talking into a
microphone. And
it's the first podcast.
And I'm amazed that this young man who was into CB and ham radios had a girlfriend that he was living with. So Michael Fadden, hats off to you, my friend. Salute, because you're the one. All of his friends were like, "What?" He's like, "He's got a girlfriend. How do you do that?" I don't know, man. I'm going to ask him on the CB later.
See if he still has that ham. Maybe I can borrow it.
Yeah, I guess you can go for the young ones. That's how you do it. So Flood even took Fadden on truck trips with him. When he had to go, on a far distance, he would take, "Hey, come on with me, Michael," and they'd go and have him.
Well, he works at the truck center.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They'd go, stop, say hi to all his friends.
He
knows the smell of diesel.
Right.
He knows what's up.
No stranger.
That's how he prefers to eat his food, amongst the smell of diesel. Makes it taste better.
Oh, salt and pepper. This tastes funny.
Yeah, you know how it goes here.
What is this, food?
What is this, food? I have more of a fuely taste I go for. So yeah, they got along really well, enough to sit in the truck together for hours at a time and not kill each other. So that's a good thing. Now, Rosemary, her boss at Roy Rogers there, said that through the holidays, after Thanksgiving, Rosemary started talking about being unhappy.
Okay.
So she started talking about being unhappy, and she started talking about how they needed money and they were not doing well. She told her boss that David had quit his trucking job for no reason a few months before.
Okay.
He just quit his job for no reason and hadn't gotten another one, and they have no money and they're struggling and things are really hard, and he's just not really... He's not living up to what he should be right now. And she doesn't understand what's happening, what's going on here. She even talked about leaving him a bit here with her coworkers, that, he's quit his job for no reason. We have no money. I don't understand what's going on. I'm thinking of leaving. I don't know what's up with him. But she told her coworkers that they're behind on bills now, and it's just getting worse and worse, and he's just been acting real strange and something's wrong. Something's up. We don't know if he's depressed or if he's... who knows? Back then, they didn't know if he was drinking or if he was depressed or if he was having a midlife crisis.
Something's up.
Something's going on with David. He's not his usual happy-go-lucky self.
Right.
We'll call him happy-go-lucky too. Everyone's happy-go-lucky. So anyway, that's the kind of catch-up to the January 6th with Stacy at Roy Rogers.
Yeah.
So we gave you that in the half hour it took him to pick her up. We covered all the lead up to it, okay? So Flood arrives to pick up his daughter, or his stepdaughter, Stacy, from Roy Rogers on January 6, 1991. She gets in the car and he says, quote, you're going up to Connecticut, is what he tells her. And he tells her that they're all going to Connecticut to look for a house because they're going to move back there, and that the rest of the family's already in Connecticut.
Oh.
So we got to go catch up, basically. Everybody left this morning, and then I was going to, after you got off of work, I had shit to do around the house, told you, finishing up a couple things.
Pick you up.
And then I would, when you got off work, I'd take you up there. So she was like, okay. He had packed bags in the in the car, in the trunk. She was like, well, this seems legit. Yeah, no problem. So he tells Stacy here that the family's planning on moving back to Connecticut, and things just haven't worked out great here, and it's tough and disappointing, but we'll see all our old friends again, which will be nice, and trying to make her feel better about moving back to Connecticut, like
going back to the bakery.
We're not a failure.
Right.
It's fine, type of thing. So he says everybody's already over there, so it's all good here. So anyway, they ride most of the ride in silence, as 15-year-olds often do.
Yeah.
You can't get 15-year-olds to talk unless you can.
It's also as uncomfortable it is for an adult to ride with a 15-year-old. It's that same discomfort for a 15-year-old to ride with an adult.
Yeah.
I remember riding with my grandpa.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
What do I say?
Just with my arm out the window.
What do I do?
Like making my fingers and dip into the wind and making my hand do something, because otherwise I'm
so
just sitting there
boring.
staring out the window while my grandfather taps to I wish I should have been a cowboy with his thumbs on the fucking steering wheel.
15-year-olds are not the greatest conversationalists.
No.
They're really not good at anything. 15-year-olds. They're really terrible at most things. Socializing among them.
The worst.
Conversation, bad. Posture's poor.
Yeah.
They're really just a disaster at that age. It's just a fucking mess. It's like those deer that can't walk before they fall over.
The only thing they're really good at is wasting time.
Wasting time,
so good at
usually masturbating.
Yeah.
So that's that. So that's how they do things. So they spent most of the ride just sitting there, and at one point, David tells Stacy that he had an argument with her mom about bills again. Yeah. And so, because she says something wrong, and he's like, I had an argument with your mom about bills again. You know how that is. And the kids know what's going on. They don't hide this from the kids. Yeah. The kids know the financial situation, and they know when there's problems, and they're very much open in this house about that sort of thing. So they drive all the way to Connecticut, and Flood drops Stacy off at her father's house in Connecticut there. And so the next day, he called Stacy at her father's house, and he said that he had to wait a day before closing the deal on the house. So he's like, just give you an update. Yeah. We did find a house, but we have to wait a day to close on the thing. So we'll get back to you, and that way you can get your shit and come back
tomorrow.
We'll get back to you, just so she knows, because for the way he's looking at it with her is she's just been, 1 minute she lived in Pennsylvania and she went to Roy Rogers, and now she's at her dad's house and they're moving back to Connecticut. Right. So it's very much up in the air.
She didn't put in her 2 weeks yet.
No, she's not going to. Damn it, they're gonna have someone else is gonna have to fix up the fixins bar. Right. Have to spruce up the fixins bar and put out the tomatoes. So he calls her later on the next day and says, your mother's going to be picking you up. So, be ready for your mom. Get your shit together and be ready for your mom. And then a little while later, he called back and said, never mind, your mom's not picking you up. Your brother got in a car accident with the goddamn Nova that I helped him fucking fix up.
Son of a bitch.
This sucks. So your mother's dealing with that now. So she's not going to be picking you up. Hang out. We'll get back to you. We'll let you know what's going on here. And your brother's fine, though. He's not, hurt or anything.
Everything's
like that.
all right.
He's just in an accident. We have to deal with that. So that totally weird back. But to Stacey, nothing seems wrong. That just seems like normal shit. Stacey said she called the house in Pennsylvania while she was in Connecticut just to see if anybody was there, and nobody answered. Now, what really is going on, though, Flood is not in Connecticut looking for a house. David went back to Pennsylvania, is what he didn't tell anybody.
Sure.
He goes back to Pennsylvania, and it's at this point that you can kind of uncover that everything isn't so perfect here. David and Rosemary, they've been together for about 6 years. They've been living together, and basically from about 5.5 years on, they've been constantly arguing. Now they publicly they put out a good front and everything like that, but all they do is argue,
of course,
and a lot of it's about money and shit like that. It's fixed things like money and shit. It's not like you're cheating on me or things like that. It's outside factors that pressure them basically, and they've been married for 3 years. Apparently, David often he was hard on Todd apparently, but he's hard on him, but he also helped him hunt, taught him shit, bought him a car, helped him restore it. So with that also comes David trying to put pressure on him. He would really get on Todd about eating junk food and stuff like that. Okay. It's not good for you. Don't eat that stuff. that sort of shit. But he's an 18-year-old kid. 18-year-old kids want to eat nothing but shit.
Constantly.
That's what I wanted to eat
and
when I
you
was
can.
18. McDonald's. Oh, you can eat all you want and feel great the next day, and it doesn't matter.
It's fine.
You can eat it at 3 o'clock in the morning, go directly to bed, and wake up and be like, great, I want more. Whereas if you ate right now McDonald's at 3 in the morning,
oh Jesus,
the next morning you'd be saying, I'm never eating McDonald's again
for the next 2 days,
for the rest of my life.
For the next 2 days, I'm muttering, why did I do that?
Why
the fuck did I do that?
You're on another Big Mac. You don't even give a shit. So he would also apparently, he's very much, I don't know what it is about his, something anal retentive about food. He would also yell at Stacy all the time because all she ever wanted to eat was noodles. She wanted to eat macaroni and ramen noodles, and then she was just into noodles.
They're delicious.
Teenage girls get into food that they like.
They stick with a certain thing.
Eat it.
Teenage shit. My daughter's 8, and she will wake me up in the morning, and I'll tell her to make waffles or get a cereal. And she'll, can I just have a cup of noodles? You're gonna have a fucking sodium bomb at 7 in the morning? Are you out of your fucking mind?
My daughter, it's spaghetti. She always wants spaghetti. She always wants pasta. She always wants spaghetti.
And that's what she wants for dinner.
Yeah, like Sarah told me throughout her teenage years, all she ate was potatoes. You know what I mean? Like, I know.
I don't blame it.
Yeah.
That's delicious.
There are women who said all they ate was rice for like 4 years. Like, they get into stuff. I don't know what it is about teenage girls. Sometimes. I'm sure teenage boys do it too. I would have just eaten anything that came across me when I was that age.
Oh my God.
I was insatiable
I ate
for
everything.
food. Anything that
I don't care what it
was.
is.
Don't care.
I'll sample it.
Shove it right in my face. Don't give a shit.
I'll try it.
Okay.
That's the benefit you had. You got a family that's Italian. You guys don't make all the best food.
There was good food. I will say that. I had good food growing up. I also had to have weird, regional shit from no one's eaten this since since Mussolini was taken down from fucking Abruzzo in Italy there. Like,
try it. It's good.
So my grandmother would make
nobody would be making it.
She'd pour the polenta right on the table, and it was like, why do you do it like this? Because that's how you do it. And it's like, no, that's how you did it 100 years ago in a foreign country that was 100 years behind even the time that it was in.
We've got plates.
We have plates. We have all sorts of shit. She would make all sorts of weird delicacies that were very, very strange.
Seafood and things it doesn't deserve to have seafood in.
But I love anything seafood.
I do too, but sometimes it doesn't fucking go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the food was good.
I don't want seafood in a vodka sauce. I don't like that.
Depends on if it's done right. You gotta do it right.
Don't put whitefish in my pasta.
That vodka fucking sauce shit is not an Italian thing that I know of. My grandmother never said, make the vodka sauce. It never happened. Never.
No,
not
it's
once.
wine sauce.
It's wine,
right.
Yeah. So anyway, he would yell at he's yelling at Todd not to eat junk food, yelling at Stacy to eat something besides. These are typical. Right. This is very typical parent shit that you yell at your teenagers to eat better and stop fucking around and whatever, clean your room, basic shit. One of their friends here said, "quote They yelled more than they talked, but that was the Flood household." Mm-hmm. So it was just the way they communicated, which understandable. Some people are like that. Todd would often would argue with David and stand up to him, and they'd get in arguments over it because he'd say, "Why don't you leave me alone? Let me do what I want to do."
My dad.
I'm 18 years old.
Right.
If I want to eat something, leave me the fuck alone. Carrie Lynn, the 17-year-old daughter with the boyfriend there, she apparently was very independent.
Yeah.
That was her role. Todd was kind of doing his own thing. Carrie Lynn was the super independent middle child there. Would clash with David all the time about everything, little rules and shit like that. And then Stacy would kind of do whatever anybody wanted. Okay. She was kind of the codependent one of the group that was the peacemaker.
Keeping it all together.
Keeping it all together, yeah. Apparently, one time Carrie Lynn was hospitalized for emotional problems due to family issues here. So there's a lot of teenagers. I mean, teenagers have fucking emotional
fragile,
problems, man.
Yeah.
Their hormones and emotions are really going up and down, so it's understandable. A lot of kids have that.
There's a chemistry experiment going on in their body.
Man, every day.
They don't know how to control it. How are you supposed to do it?
They have no idea. They don't even know what's happening.
Right.
So, but apparently Flood's favorite was Stacy. David liked Stacy the best because she was the most kind of, and also it's like that with a step parent. You're going to be, when they got together, she was 9.
Right.
So that's a lot easier to get in with a 9-year-old than when they got together. The son was 13. That's crazy. Which is hard.
Yeah.
That's hard I'm not going to say that. I almost said it's hard to penetrate a 13-year-old.
Got it.
That was the words out of my mouth.
saw it, I felt it,
God.
and I knew what you were doing.
Jesus
and I was horrified.
No. No.
I was terrified for the outcome of that conversation.
No. They have a force field around them if you're a step-parent. It's a very difficult thing. But
and it's illegal to penetrate them as well.
Very difficult to penetrate a 14-year-old. Or a 13-year-old for that matter.
God damn it, James.
So, yeah. She was a good student, too. She didn't really mouth off. He would tell her not to eat noodles, and she wouldn't argue with him about it. She wouldn't go crazy about it. She was very much more the go with the flow, and he liked her the best because of it. He even told her that she was his favorite.
Oh.
Like,
in front of everybody.
It was a known fact. You're all whatever, but why can't you be more like Stacy? Stacy's nice. So, Stacy, like I said, the younger one's going to be an easier sell. Not an easier penetration, which would be much more difficult. So,
and much more illegal, I think. I don't know.
Very much so.
It seems like it.
So now after David took Stacy to Connecticut, after the Roy Rogers stint, after her Roy Rogers shift, he returned to Lehigh County, which is where this is, and he left an envelope in a neighbor's mailbox. That's what he was doing. Inside this envelope were two other envelopes. One addressed to the neighbor and one addressed to the state police's Fogelsville barracks. Okay. So this is strange behavior. A note attached to the envelope said, there was a note on it that said, quote, "Please call Ted Novataski right away so he don't bring my stepdaughter Stacy to the house." And then the note gave the number of Ted Novataski, who is all the kids' father and his ex-wife's ex-husband. Okay. His wife's ex-husband.
All the kids'
the other
dad.
way around. All the kids' dads, okay? Inside the envelope was a note to the neighbor that he left it in and the neighbor's wife. It asked them to stay in contact with Stacy because, quote, "she's going to need your support." And then it said, "Pray for me."
Oh, boy.
That's all it said on there, okay? So the neighbor read another note. And this note he was instructed, quote, "Please take to state police right away. Thank you, David Flood."
Yeah.
So very formal, though. Yeah. Thank you, David Flood, as if it was somebody else put that envelope in, but then there was another one there.
Right.
They get who left the envelopes. Thank you. So the neighbor took the envelopes and the notes to the police, to the barracks there, and they showed them to a state trooper, a Francis J. Carvin. And the note to the state police, because the neighbor didn't read the note to the state police. He just brought it there, which I would have had to have read that shit.
You just followed the instructions of David?
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, this shit is intriguing. Yeah. I got to know what the fuck. I'm opening it, dude. I'll bring it to them afterwards, but I'm opening it first. Yeah. I'm going to read this shit.
I'll tell them I didn't know which one I was supposed to open. That's what I'll do.
So I feel like if I give it to the cops, they're not going to tell me what it says, probably.
They're not going to tell me shit.
This is some curious. This is curious.
I am riveted.
So the note to the state police says, and I'm riveted right now, says, quote, "Please go to the Blue House. You can enter by the garage," which he spells wrong. He spells with two D's somehow, and there's no D's in that word.
What?
Yeah.
How did he spell it?
Graddge.
So garage?
The garage.
G-R-A?
The garage door.
The garage
which is kind of how you say garage in Pennsylvania. In the garage.
In the garage.
Yeah, so I don't know.
in the garage. The water ice is in the garage.
Jesus Christ. "You can enter by the garage door. It is open. Read the letter on the bar."
He spelled it like Garanimals.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Pennsylvania German, I believe, is what he's going for. That's Pennsylvania German for garage.
That is amazing.
So he says, "You can enter by the garage door. It is open. Read the letter on the bar. You will not like what you see. I don't either." So
there's more letters.
That's going. Oh, he's got more letters too.
Boy.
He says in this letter, it continues, quote, "But by the time you find me, I will be on my way to heaven to be with my wife. Please do this as soon as possible. The guns are on the bar. This is a bad crime. I will end it for myself to save you the trouble. I did this Sunday a.m. I am very sick."
Oh,
that's
boy.
What the note says, which sounds like a fucking Zodiac killer note.
Yeah, it does.
It's got the like the syntax and rhythm of a Zodiac killer.
Oh, it's missing
with these
bouncing
short sentences.
Yeah.
The weird. I did this Sunday a.m. I am very sick, like because it corresponds to a code.
Yeah.
You didn't want to have to use a bigger word and figure out the code. Yeah. It's one of those things. Like that's what it feels like, except this is just written in English.
Jesus.
Just plain as sight. You can tell it's not an educated guy. You can tell the guns are on the bar, period. This is a bad crime, period. I will end it for myself and save you the trouble, period. Everything's period. There's no commas. He didn't learn how to do that.
No.
So investigators their curiosity's piqued.
Yeah.
They go, you know what? We should probably take a look over there.
Yeah.
So this is 3 days later. This is January 9th. Okay. 3 days after Stacy was picked up from Roy Rogers and driven to Connecticut.
Good. She's still waiting on Mom.
She's still waiting to see what's going on with the new house. It's like, I hope I get my own room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope I got a good view. Hope it's one of those like A-frame houses and I get the attic.
Yeah, those are really fun. And then I could use my own floor and I could decorate. I could put like even a couch in it, but make a sitting area. You know what I mean? So my friends come over, it could be different and they don't have to sit on my bed because that's uncomfortable.
No, when my sister moves out with her boyfriend, I can have his ham radio.
Totally. I'm going to be styling. I'm going to put out my own show.
I'll put out my own show about Saved by the Bell.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Actually, Blossom. She's going to have her own. It's a Blossom fan show. Yeah. It's very much.
She's in love with Joey.
I can hang all my Blossom hats on the wall up here. It's going to be perfect. So, so the investigators, they say we should probably follow these instructions. This seems interesting, if not for nothing else, out of pure curiosity.
Yeah.
So they do. They enter the unlocked garage, and first thing they find is 2 dogs that have been killed by blows to the head with blunt objects. That's a bad crime. It gets way worse than that.
Baby and Samson are dead.
So yes, the Collie and the Doberman have been killed, and don't go crazy about that because it gets much fucking worse than that. Right. Even though that is terrible, obviously. In the living room, they go into the house now. So if not finding 2 dead dogs isn't horrifying enough, they said, oh, good, we have to keep going.
Not even shot. Beaten to death.
Beaten blunt dogs. Objects in the head, which is nuts. It makes sense in the course of how he did things, though, because we'll talk about it.
Okay.
In the living room, they find a .45 caliber pistol and a 22 caliber sawed-off rifle on the bar.
Oh.
So he's got both these guns sitting up on the bar.
That's interesting.
There. Several notes are all around the house. There's notes all over the place.
He's a writing motherfucker.
Yeah, he's writing these notes. For a guy who doesn't write very well, he writes a lot of notes. Several notes had been left on the chair in the living room here. One of these notes asked the police to contact Ted Novotaski so he wouldn't bring his daughter to the house. He said, do not tell her what happened. That's what the note says. One note asked them to contact Rosemary Flood's father and gave them the address for Rosemary Flood's father, his wife's father, and tell him about it. Another one says it's addressed to Ted Novotaski, who's the kid's father. It says, quote, Ted Novotaski, the reason you have Stacy, period. Dude, he's...
Oh, boy.
Reason you have Stacy, period. She need to live her life to the fullest, period. She is so special, period. I love her, period. She has been a true daughter to me, period. Stacy, please forgive me, period. I can't take the pain I put through. I guess I put you through. Put through. The bills are too much. We are about to lose everything. That's what he says. And then it says, then he wrote another note that says, this is the same exact thing. This is a bad crime. I did this Sunday AM. I'm very sick. So... this is, first of all, we'll talk about what happened because we haven't even gotten into it yet here. But right away, this is what the cops are finding first, and they haven't found what's so bad yet. They found the dogs, but they're figuring that's probably not what he's talking about here. So, they apparently, what he did, too, is after he left, and we'll talk about what he did in the house, but after he left, he went and paid the rent, which is a weird move.
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Paid the rent and then left all the notes. He wrote out all these notes, complete with addresses and phone numbers of people's family members, of who to call. He even called Roy Rogers and said that she wouldn't be coming to work that day, his wife. Said she's not going to be at work today. Like, even didn't want her to be a no-call, no-show.
Yeah.
He was conscientious about it. The notes, obviously, based on this last one, they indicate that he didn't plan on being caught for this anyway. The note says, quote, by the time you find me, I will not be alive. And then he says, I'm going to join my wife in heaven and all this shit here. So obviously this is pretty fucked up here. So, apparently, he, man, this is fucking crazy. So, there was a man who used to be a babysitter for the kids here who spoke with Flood on the phone on the Monday after this happened, and he said that nothing was amiss.
Sounded weird.
Nothing was weird. Flood cashed his wife's child support check at the Roy Rogers. So what the fuck? What is this? The town general store? The Roy Rogers? They paying company script? What the fuck is going on?
Bizarre.
What is happening? You can cash a check at the Roy Rogers? No, I don't care if you work there or not. Can I cash a check here? We sell chicken and hamburgers. What are you talking about?
Checks are so bizarre.
You can have as many tomatoes as you'd like. How about that? I don't know what to tell you.
I am so glad checks are done with.
They're the weirdest thing.
It's the most... That is the most trusting fucking thing to do.
It's that old Seinfeld joke about, I'm just going to write it down on this piece of paper
right.
and hand it to you. And
Best of luck.
There you go.
Bye. I'm going to take all this shit with me.
Weird as shit, man.
That's such a weird
especially
format.
Before they could like run it through any kind of computer.
Yeah.
It was just like, I guess this is fine then.
This seems right.
This seems right.
There's lines on the back where you can sign, so it's good.
So he cashed the check. He talked to somebody on the phone. After that, he has a 4-wheel drive pickup truck, and he drives that to Glastonbury, Connecticut, which is east of Hartford. It's where they used to live. And now nobody saw him get there or anything like that, but we'll know why in a second here. A friend of his says that was what he knew. That was the house on the hill. He thought he could go there. So there's a house there that he thinks he can go to where he used to hunt deer in the woods around this house. And he knows it's got nobody living there.
Got it.
He knows it's vacant. It's been vacant for years. So it's that old house back east in the neighborhood.
Weird one up
exactly.
there.
That's the haunted house, which, everybody avoids.
Nothing's ever happened there, but everybody says, oh, they found a family chopped up there.
Yeah, that's what it is. So every window was broken. So I mean, it's winds are blowing through there. It's the middle
useless.
of winter. It's rough here. So there's debris. Shit, walls are covered. Kids go there to smoke weed and fuck and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean? Beer bottles and condom wrappers and shit everywhere. It's that place that we've all seen.
There's a discarded
kids.
bra that it looks
got
gross. It's been there a long time.
It's got like a burrito stain on it. You're hoping. You're hoping
it's a little yellow.
So the house is back among a bunch of orchards and berry farms. By the way, we'll talk about what happened at the house originally.
Okay.
With the whole family here. Yeah, we're getting to that. But this house is back. It's orchards and farms. It's a 52. It's a remote area.
Yeah.
This really remote. It overlooks most of this house is on a hill, and you can see everything. You can even see the Hartford skyline from here.
Really?
So it's basically a dark road where kids go to fuck around and drink and fuck and smoke weed. That's what it is. So the owner had bought this house recently, or in the last couple of years, and planned to demolish the house, and he wanted to build a new one, but he just never did. So he just bought the property and left it sitting there to rot, basically. So Flood uses this as a place to hang out. He comes in, he hides his truck behind the house. It wasn't spotted, and police go around this area all the time, and they said nobody saw them. Nobody saw his truck or anything like that. On January 11th, it snowed, so it covered any kind of tire tracks going up there. Everything looked clean, and the police, didn't think anybody was there. Didn't think anything. So apparently the new owner of the house, makes daily visits to the property for here's this broken shithole again.
Here it is.
I'm not going to fix this.
I've got so much work to do here.
Okay, I'm going to go now.
Going home.
Bye.
I'm not doing any of it.
Not doing shit. So apparently David, the owner didn't see David when he came there. Apparently his friends said that he used to frequent this abandoned house. They'd use it as kind of a center to go deer hunting. They kind of set up around the house, basically.
Headquarters.
It was their headquarters. Yeah, we'll meet at this house and we'll go in the woods from there.
David made his truck not visible on a fucking property made the owner of a property not be able to see his truck on his property.
We don't know if he was going out back to look, but still
amazing.
He's hiding. Yeah, clearly.
That's he's better than Osama bin Laden.
He really is. He's hiding out well. But the only problem is, police started asking. They said, where might this guy go?
Yeah.
Probably back to his hometown. Where else would he go? They asked people around, and they said, well, he used to hang out at this abandoned house up there.
Yeah.
And then they go there, and when they check, they do find his truck. When police come actually looking for him, because the owner's not looking for anything.
Okay.
Police are actually looking for him. They find his truck. They find he took his license plate off for some reason. They found that covered in snow somewhere. So they believe he's inside. So they call out through a loudspeaker for him to come out, and he pops out. He comes out. He's still there.
He didn't do it.
Comes out without incident.
Yeah.
He is armed.
Yeah.
He's got a gun, but he's got his hands up and he's surrendering, obviously. And they said he's been there for like 4 days in a frigid house with no heat and wind busting through it.
Holy shit!
They have no idea how he's still alive. Basically, he didn't drop dead in there. Police found, this is an amazing quote from an article. Quote: police found evidence he had been eating cold oatmeal.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, so that's what he's been eating. He's just He's just mixing probably water with the oatmeal and not cooking
melting down the snow,
fucking eating it. Yeah, crunching down cold oatmeal.
God, Jesus,
which sounds like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. So that's January 13th. This is a town. It's about 5 miles outside of Hartford, and he drove here, 2 days after all of this happened on that Sunday the 6th, and this is their old town there. So Stacy is still trying to call. Stacy's trying to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
She has no idea. She's trying to call her house in Pennsylvania.
She knows none of this.
She knows nothing is going on. So after they take David into custody, they sit him down, and he just gives a 7-page statement. He has no lying, no, I didn't do it, no, I don't know what happened, here's what the fuck happened. He gives everything, motive and all this shit. He said that he could not accept that his wife was going to leave him. Said his wife was going to leave him. They didn't have enough money. Everything was falling apart around him, and he couldn't take it anymore. And he fucking snapped, is what he said. He said the night before, on January 5th, the Saturday night, Rosemary told him that she was leaving him the next time she got paid. So now I'm leaving you my next paycheck. I'm taking it and I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Gave him a 2-week notice.
She gave him a 2-week notice, and she's going to leave on a Roy Rogers paycheck, which I don't know what that entails, but she wants out, apparently. So, I mean, it's not easy, but she's going to do it. So that you really got to want it, is what I'm saying here. So the next morning, apparently he woke up on Sunday morning, and he said he asked Rosemary if she meant what she said about leaving, and she said yes. She did mean it, and she rolled over in bed, and that was it. She said yes and rolled away from him.
Oh boy!
So he shot her with a .22 caliber rifle right there in the bedroom. Okay.
Holy shit.
Right there in the bedroom. So from there, he's like, okay, now what do I do?
Well, that was loud.
This is why I think the dogs were killed with blunt objects and not shot, because if you shot the dogs, it would have woke everyone up in the house, and everyone would have said, why is there gunshots? Right. And if there's gunshots, it would have made the dogs go crazy, so he needed to kill the dogs in a quiet way, so not to alert everybody here. So he goes to the basement now, Flood. He's like, well, might as well go see where everybody else is. He goes down to the basement, and this is where Carrie Lynn and her boyfriend Michael live. They live in the basement apartment down there, and Michael's not home. He's not there. Carrie Lynn is in bed, and Carrie Lynn asks him what he's doing in her room. Why the fuck are you here? And apparently he tells her that your mother's leaving me. And she said, well, what do you expect? Apparently. She said, what do you expect? So he shot her in the head. That was that. So
everybody's rejecting him.
Not the right response. No. What do you not? Oh no, you want to talk about it. Right. What do you expect? So she not that she should have said that, but apparently that's probably what he thought she should say. And so he instead shoots her in the head. So it's at that point Todd comes home. Todd gets home a couple minutes after this, the 18-year-old boy. He gets home, and he goes upstairs to Stacy's bedroom to get something out of a closet. So he comes in. He doesn't know what's going on. He just runs in the house like an 18-year-old does, runs up to the room. He's going in the closet for something. And as he's looking in the closet, David walks up behind him and shoots him in the back of the head with a .45.
Wow.
45
That's
pistol.
A lot.
Yeah, back of the head. Like a hit, close range while he's leaning in a closet. It's like Stax while he was tying his shoe in Goodfellas when they were, be late for your own fucking funeral. And it's like that, basically. Yeah. Brutal. So it's at that point here that he says he starts drinking. He said he had started drinking before he did all this, and now once he's got Rosemary, Carrie Lynn, and Todd are all dead, he says he starts drinking hard.
Don't forget the dogs, James.
The dogs as well. Well, the children. I'm going to say more about the children and the dogs. We gave the dogs their due.
They did.
Yes.
They were listed.
They contributed nothing to society. They're wonderful, wonderful beings, and we love them, and I love my dogs, and I don't want nothing to happen to them or any other dogs, but they really were never going to contribute. One of them wasn't going to cure cancer. It was never going to happen.
Neither of them stopped this either.
They didn't stop this. Yeah, they could have stopped. Just kidding. Poor dogs. So, poor everybody. So, he's got a lot of blood on his hands at this point. So he starts drinking. He said he's drinking whiskey, and it's at that point that Michael Fadden got home. Michael Fadden gets home. He was at work at the truck stop.
At the service.
He had an early morning shift. I think he got to work at 6 o'clock in the 7 o'clock in the morning at the truck stop place, truck center. And then he gets home. He gets home, and I guess they get into an argument, Flood and Fadden do, and Flood doesn't even know, Fadden doesn't even know what the hell happened, but they're arguing about shit. He doesn't even know. I'm sure it'd be a bigger argument if he said, hey, I just killed everybody else in the house. Right. So apparently...
You probably shouldn't talk to me like this, Mr. Fadden.
Yeah, I don't think you know that I've killed...
I have information for you.
Everyone else.
It may change your treatment of me.
And it feels like, other than Todd, it just feels like, well, Todd's not going to like this. I'm going to kill him. But it feels like he was like... almost was gonna. It didn't seem like he was definitely gonna kill Carrie.
Yeah.
Carrie Lynn. It seems like Carrie Lynn. If she had a different approach, I don't know if he would have killed her or not. It's one of those things.
If he doesn't kill her, he definitely doesn't kill the
probably doesn't kill the other son. That's the thing. I don't think he had a full plan until it was going through the whole thing.
But if Mom resents me, then everybody resents me.
Yep.
If
they're all going to die.
Right.
Yeah, it's
everybody
one of those.
Resents me.
So he gets home, they get in an argument. Fadden then goes downstairs to the basement to his room, where he finds Carrie Lynn dead in the bed.
Yeah.
So apparently at that point, Fadden turns around and there's Flood, who had been following him downstairs, and he shot him too.
Oh, of course.
So he shoots and kills Michael as well. So now everybody's dead, and he said he continued to drink. That's what he did then. He continued to drink and drink and drink. He said that he had, quote, enough whiskey to float a ship.
Okay.
That's what he said. That was his deal. He then picked Stacy up at work.
Mm-hmm. After all of that, and drove her to Connecticut and drove back to Pennsylvania, apparently. And as he's saying, hammered on whiskey. Smashed.
Which would be hard.
Yeah.
She would notice if he's that hammered on whiskey. A 15-year-old would notice. Yeah. He was acting funny and weird, and he wasn't talking right, and he smelled like booze. Kids can smell. They might not know. Like, it was Jack Daniels, I believe.
Right.
I believe it was the whatever mix. Like,
you won't know which malt that is, but you'll smell it.
He smells like...
Smells terrible.
He smells like he's going to hit me soon.
Yeah.
It's one of those. So
he smells like domestic
Yeah,
violence.
it's in the air. So here, his public defender, William Whisman, asked the investigators about Flood's drinking and how much liquor he consumed before the slayings, because he said, well, maybe maybe he was too drunk to form the intent to kill.
Right.
So maybe we can use this as a defense. State troopers said they didn't find any empty bottles around the house, and the only liquor bottles in the house were under the bar in the living room, and they had dust on them.
Oh.
So they're like, but I mean, he could have taken the bottle and thrown it out the window when he went to pick Stacy up, if that's actually true. Seems to me like he probably wasn't drinking. Mm-hmm. That's my thought. Or he had like 2 shots or some shit. So he says that he tells police that when he's in custody, he says he left the house. The notes he left at the house, he wrote a note to the police and to tell them kind of what was going on and to going to give them a heads up.
Right.
He also describes in detail how he shot each person. He tells which gun he used to shoot each person, and he just goes into detail. He gets extradited without any, he doesn't put up a fight for the extradition or anything, and ends up in Lehigh County Prison with no bail at all. He's got 4 homicide charges, and
admitted.
I was going to say there should be some animal cruelty in there as well. Not to be a dick, but I mean the 4 homicides obviously are Trump, but
they eclipse him for sure.
But let's throw it on top.
He did some other shit on.
Beat 2 dogs to death.
Yeah.
We got to have something for that.
He didn't just shoot them. You know what I mean?
No, he didn't Old Yeller them.
He heard a yipe.
Yeah,
you know
he had
to
fucking Jesus. So his friends are shocked. They're they have no idea what this is, like, mind blown. Yeah. It's not like, well, I mean, they had their problems. They were all like, what the fuck? Right. David's a great guy. His friend here, the Kim Hudson, who was the couple that they hung out with, she says, quote, a lot of it doesn't make sense to me. He was always together, always so in control. Yeah. He's a very together cat. Like we said, don't eat don't eat this, eat better food. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Michael Fadden had left work a little bit early too that day. So if he stayed later, we don't even know. This might not have happened.
If he stayed later or came home earlier.
That's the thing. Well, it's so weird. He picked up Stacy. The whole thing is strange here. So police told his mother that he, walked into this scene, and this is what ended up happening. Now, court comes up here, and in court, the preliminaries, they have to have Stacy up there saying a lot of this because she's the only one alive. So Stacy, I feel so bad for a kid.
Yeah.
Not only are all of her siblings and her mom dead,
her whole family,
and who she thought was someone she loved, and her stepdad. Now she has to go to court.
Yep.
And talk about it. Yeah. And she's 15 years old, because this happens like the court starts right away.
Yeah.
And they said that she was she was even like kind of nervously giggling during testimony and stuff because she's a kid and she's nervous and she's in a courtroom. That's how out of place a 15-year-old is giving testimony in a murder hearing.
So uncomfortable.
It's crazy. She looked at David only once, which was to point to him when the prosecutor asked her to identify him.
Who did it?
That was it, but otherwise she wouldn't look at him. Apparently, David Flood just sat with his arms crossed in front of him and kept his head down and stared at the floor and wouldn't look at her. He had to. If you have any conscience whatsoever, you can't look at her. No. That's disgusting what you did to these people. So during this, the trooper here says that Flood tells police that he and his wife had an argument the night before. He said his wife threatened to leave, and in the morning he shot her in the bed, went to the basement, shot Carrie Lynn, Todd, then shot Michael. One of the notes he left behind, he said that he, quote, wanted everyone to go to hell together.
Jesus.
That's what he said. So one note he was going to join his wife in heaven to the neighbors, but in this note he said he wants everyone to go to hell together. We're all going to hell, everybody. Right. Fucking line up in the car.
It's crazy how he what he
in
did.
The station wagon, kids.
Yeah. What he did
hell
to the
closes
wife.
Early tonight.
I get what he did to. I can see the resentment to her, but then
the kids,
right,
it's nothing. Just leave.
He went from the most attachment in the house to the least attachment right away. And if you can do that,
he went
to
right
both,
down the list, right down the list,
right from the wife to the dogs, and then filled in the gaps in the middle. And it's fucking crazy. If you can do that to a woman and then do that to the dogs, nobody's fucking safe in his entire life.
No, but I mean, he did that to the dogs. He did that to the wife, and the dogs was more of a. Like I said, I think that was a logistics thing. Just of if I
make
shoot
everything else easier,
it's gonna that would make just to make the process smoother. I don't think he was like the fucking dogs are turning against me too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I don't know, but the girl is the only one that's left because nobody else is in the house at the moment. But does he know that? Who knows? You got a point.
That's the thing. So with the dogs, he knows that if A, they're going to bark if he shoots, and B, if he shoots them, then everyone else is going to wake up. So he's got to figure it out how to deal with the dogs. And we see this in a lot of these cases. They kill the dogs just to keep them out of the way.
Yeah.
And it's a weird thing. So he wanted everybody to go to hell together. He asked, the judge asked Flood why he spared Stacy. And which is a really valid question. Yeah. Why didn't you kill her too? You killed everybody else. And he explained in open court that Stacy, quote, never wanted anything and never gave anybody any trouble. She was always good. Something in my head just told me not to hurt Stacy. Yeah. So for whatever it was,
everybody else rejected him.
And he had a thing, and who knows, because when they met, she's a 9-year-old girl, and there's a certain thing that you have for, you want to protect a little girl, and
she's still a 9-year-old to
something
him.
Like that. Yeah. Like I always see my daughter as a little tiny kid with big puffy hair.
I'll never see my daughter as anything bigger
walking around with diapers.
Yep,
yeah, that's what it is. So that's how they see, and maybe that's what it was, and that might have saved her fucking life here. Which, I mean, goddamn, I feel bad. She's got to feel guilt.
Even though survivor's guilt, shit.
That's got to feel terrible for her. Just why me? Yeah. And if I called in Roy Rogers, maybe he would have killed me too. Right. Or who knows? So Roy Rogers saved her life. Maybe. Possibly. So the defense attorney here told the judge that Flood's friends in Connecticut said that he loved the children very much and always wanted a better life for them. He explained that Flood's life started to fall apart after they moved to Pennsylvania. The defense attorney said, quote, it was like sweeping the ocean back with a broom. Talking about as these problems came on and financial and everything else. It was just too much. And once you get a couple months behind...
Oh, it's over.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked. Unless you can get a giant influx, you're always behind. You'll be behind for years.
You got to genuinely win the lottery.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely insane.
So fucked up.
It's brutal. So this is going to go to trial. Obviously, that's the preliminary hearing. It's going to go to trial. David says that he doesn't want a trial. Says he's been through enough. The families have been through enough. Everybody's been... He feels horrible guilt, he says, through this whole thing. He's not like, well, fuck them. He says, I've been a horrible... I ruined this family, and I don't want to put them through anymore. I'm pleading guilty. Okay. So he does. He signs the papers here. He says he killed everybody. He pleads guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder.
Holy shit.
Which is a lot to plead guilty for. It's just what the prosecutor asked for, and he said, fine, whatever. I'll sign it. I'll sign whenever you want.
Sounds great.
Sounds terrific. So the judge asked Flood if he understood what he was doing, and he said, now that you're doing this, the chance of you ever getting your sentence commuted is next to nothing. If you do this, you're fucked, basically. Yeah. And they said, having heard all that, is it still your intention to plead guilty of your own free will? And he said, yes, it is. So that was that. So yes, God, they keep just talking about this fucking poor Stacy, man. So yeah, he's in court. They gotta let him wear a suit. He's in a suit and a white shirt, and the judge, the judge said, "What do you have to say for yourself?" after it, and he said that he wanted to. He didn't want to go to trial. This was during the sentencing. He didn't want to go to trial. He wanted to spare the family members who are left any pain and grief of having to relive all this shit and go through a long thing. He said, quote, "I'm sorry it happened. I'd rather just go on with life and let them go on with life." Mm-hmm. So he's just trying to be whatever. The defense attorney said that David spoke with a pastor who visited him in the county jail, and that's how he decided to plead guilty, because he said you gotta unburden yourself of this whole thing. Sure. The attorney said, quote, "That changed his whole frame of mind about everything, including his own life." Because before that, he wanted to kill himself, apparently. So the judge, I mean, guilty or not, whether you feel guilty or not, you are a bad person. You're a piece of shit. And judge says, "You, sir, may fuck off 4 consecutive life sentences." That's harsh. Yeah. That's rough. You're not coming out ever. And judge says, "You know what you're fucking doing, right? You know you're done completely."
Sounds good.
Great. Yeah. So he's got about 160 years ahead of him at the least. Either this or Allentown. Yeah. So which is worse? It's either this or naked with all those other guys showering repeatedly. Well, you're going to be doing that as well. Anyway. So he is in Allentown. Either way, it turns into the Allentown video.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone needs to go watch that video now. They're going to be like, "Oh my God, it is really so overtly gay." Tomorrow. Holy shit. Oh yeah, they're going to be on that shit. So afterwards, the district attorney said the plea agreement for 4 life sentences was proposed by Flood's lawyers. That's what they were going to ask for, and they were like, they said, "How about 4 consecutive life sentences," which is as harsh as it gets. So they were like, yeah, great.
Obviously.
Yeah, he said he talked about the prosecutor said he talked about the plea with the state troopers who investigated the case. They talked to Michael Fadden's mother. They talked to Ted Novotosky, and everyone was like, well, yeah, that's what we wanted, right?
Clearly.
We thought he was going to fight that, but he's just, okay, sure.
He's going to give it to us?
Yeah, but Fadden's mother said that she was satisfied with the plea as long as she knew that Flood would never get out of prison. Okay. I think 4 consecutive. That'll do it. The prosecutor said, quote, "It's difficult, quite frankly, to turn down 4 consecutive life sentences." It really is. It's like
what are we going to do? Argue for death?
You want $5,000 for your car, right. And a guy comes up and goes, "I'll give you $5,200." You're like, okay.
I mean,
we're not going to haggle anymore.
I suppose.
It's hard to turn down above Blue Book. You know what I'm saying?
Did you hear me say, "Oh, all right, I'll take it"?
Yeah. He then said, the prosecutor said about that, "It's frankly difficult to turn down 4 consecutive life sentences. It's going to be his own living hell. Every day of his life, he will live with the fact that he killed his family. This quickly and appropriately brings us to a conclusion." Yeah. So yeah, that's what happened there. Lorraine Fadden, Michael's mother, said she had no inkling ever that David was capable of murder, and she wouldn't have sent her son to move there, obviously, if she did, because they said, "You ever see this?" And she was like, "Yeah, I thought he was a murderer." And I said, "Why don't you move in with him?" What do you think, dummy?
You know, I knew the guy was a murderer, and he was living in this town. You know, and I was like, he's moving. Why don't you get the fuck out of this town, too?
Take my son with you. That sounds good. Jesus Christ.
He smells like onions all the time.
Oh, God. You know how that works. It's from Roy Rogers. Yeah. It rubs off of Rosemary. So apparently they were, a friend of theirs here said that, Lorraine says, Michael's mother said they were always in the hole. I knew that. Says how they argued about how they were spending money and the bills, and they were always having that sort of thing. They did visit. Rosemary and David went back to Connecticut around Christmas, 10 days before that, to visit friends, and they said that, quote, they were all so happy together. She even saw there's a videotape of the floods that was taken by friends during the holidays, where they're all happy and having a good time. They said, one of their friends said, quote, "There was nothing to indicate that David would commit murder," which, yeah, that's true. Now, as if it wasn't bad enough for these people, the mother, Lorraine, and Ted Novotosky, they've lost their children through no fault of their own here. Now they have to go to court because they're trying to get access to the house that they lived in to get their belongings out.
Oh, Jesus.
Because they had shit in there that, things that belong to their family and their kids, and they should have it. And it's their stuff. And the landlord, apparently, after the shooting, the landlord changed the locks to the house. And since then, Ted Novotatsky he said he was trying to arrange a date with the landlord to retrieve the items. Yeah. And he said, quote, "We've made a good 5 or 6 trips to Pennsylvania to no avail." So they're like keeping these people.
Fuck?
I don't know if they sold everybody's shit.
The rent's paid, dickhead. Let them in the house.
I don't know if they sold all these people shit and they were trying to pretend like, I don't know where it is. So the landlord said that told them that they want the family to make a list of the items they want to take. Everything in there that belongs to not you.
How about
that?
How about not the house?
Is any of that
Everything
shit yours?
Else. Right.
No. It's so apparently they had to hire a local lawyer. Fadden and Novotatsky had to hire a lawyer to get. It's a huge mess here.
Oh no.
The prosecutor said that he hoped the prosecutor that prosecuted the murders, like calling the landlord out publicly, saying he hoped the landlord and the survivors could meet, and he was willing to set something up and broker something. But the landlord's lawyer said the landlord lives in New York and he's out of town and he's not interested in meeting with these people, and they can make a list or whatever like that. So Fadden said that she made arrangements, though, to return to Pennsylvania and have the police help her open the door and take her stuff, and they have some of her kids' shit in their storage and things like that. But 4 consecutive life sentences.
Wow! So the police opened the door for her.
Police opened the door for her. He is now David is, I believe, still alive from the information I found. 74 years old.
Jesus.
And has been living, probably, I assume, in a great deal of misery for a long time
watching
now.
A lot of soapy asses.
Deservedly so. Basically watching a repeat of the Allentown video for his entire life into his 70s as an elderly man.
He used to be an elk.
Jesus, he used to have horns, man.
Yeah.
So, that is this case here.
What a story.
It's crazy. And this is one, I figured this case, I needed a shorter case because we're leaving, but it's not a short case in terms of info. It's just short where there's no appeal.
Right.
Basically. Normally we'd spend the next 20 minutes talking about how he was an asshole and tried to get out of the stuff, but that never happened.
Fifth Circuit and Third.
Ninth Court said this and some crazy legal wranglings.
Opinion. And then, these are all words I learned because of you.
Yeah. And then somebody did something to screw the whole thing up and, all that shit. But we're cutting that part off.
Got it.
And leaving it at this. So if you liked that and if you like to hear about families being slaughtered, give us a review on iTunes. Seriously, though, if you like the show, get on Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars. It really does help drive us up there. Wacky charts that we don't understand. We don't get it at all, but it helps. So if you can do that, please do that. Doesn't matter what you say. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It's only for business. We do appreciate it. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. After you watch Allentown. After you watch the video for Allentown, go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get all your stuff. There's so many new shirts up, and all these designs go on bags and mugs and whatever the hell you want, too. Tons of new designs, all sorts of cool stuff. I know for Crime and Sports, she put up an arugula, Adam Pac-Man Jones arugula shirt, arugula connoisseur shirt, which is hilarious. All sorts of funny stuff up there. So get your shirts now. Also, get tickets to live shows. Come see us.
Yes.
Come see us. We will be, today in Omaha, but that's sold out. So, I don't know, unless you go to StubHub and get ripped off, which we don't advise you to do.
If you live here in Omaha, open a nice hotel. Do that.
Yeah, it's tough to find.
You'll make a shitload of money.
Tough to find a hotel without the reviews of old and run down in front, and as the first fucking line of it in Omaha.
Somebody open a respectable place where I can sleep.
Yeah, I said, where does Warren Buffett go when his fucking house is being painted or fumigated or something? He's got to have somewhere to go.
How cheap is Warren Buffett?
I'm not saying I want somewhere super. I'm not paying a ton, but I don't want.
I'm not paying over $200 a night.
No, but I don't want a $56 travel lodge either. I'm flying in from out of town. I want to, be half comfortable.
A red signed Best
write-off.
Western? Is that a new thing? What is this?
Yeah, no.
This is so weird.
Radisson Red? No. Radisson
absolutely
shit.
Not.
It's Radisson Brown is what it is. We're not taking that. I don't want that. So, do that. Also, Minneapolis this weekend. On Saturday, we are in Minneapolis at the Pantages, I believe.
Yeah,
Theater.
Pantages Theater.
Pantages Theater.
Right downtown.
It's a big theater, and there's like 30
Beautiful.
tickets left.
Yeah.
So get your tickets right now. Don't wait till the day of the show because they'll be gone by then. Also, 50 more tickets got released from Milwaukee.
That's 4 months away still.
That's 4 months away, and it's been sold out twice.
Right.
It was sold out. They put out 20 more tickets. We're like, hey, there's 20 more tickets. That got sold out real quick. So then they're like, hey, there's 50 more tickets. And we said, this time we went, is this it?
Yeah.
You're not going to say there's another because you made us jerk-offs twice already saying it's sold out when it's not. So is it fucking sold out now? And they said we could not squeeze another chair into the place.
Okay.
We said fantastic.
That's
So
it.
50 more seats to Milwaukee, and that's it in December. Also, make sure you come out to San Diego and L.A. in mid-September, and then Raleigh, Charlotte, Atlanta at the end of September. Then we're going to be in Pittsburgh, which is sold out. Philly, still tickets available for that. Washington, D.C., tickets available for that. Kansas City and St. Louis are both sold out. Can't get those.
Houston, then Dallas.
Houston, then Dallas is sold out as well. It's a
matter of fact, that one's sold out, and they fucking way oversold.
They oversold it. Yeah, they sold that out again, so they did that. Houston is coming up too. There's Dallas is sold out. Houston still some tickets left, and then finally a few tickets left for our last show in Chicago at the end of the year in December. So
that's it, though,
and that's it for 2020 or for 2019, and then we'll be back in 2020.
Yeah.
We're not going to do like a long break between tours. We're just going to kind of keep going and doing like a weekend or two a month, basically, and kind of have a steady touring schedule going. So get your tickets to that. Crime and Sports Live is sold out in Phoenix. We apologize for that, but we're pretty goddamn thrilled.
I'm happy about it. Thank you, you guys. You guys are amazing.
Excited.
Thank you all for buying all these tickets.
Yeah, thank you
so
for wanting to
incredible.
come see us.
Yeah.
We will reward you by trying to put on the best fucking show we can.
Can't wait to get there and do it and then get the fuck out.
We want, and then go home. We want you to walk out going, we've never been to a more funny show. That's what we're going for. So hopefully you'll feel that way. Hopefully you'll feel that way. Follow us on social media. Do that. We're at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. So follow us on all those, and that way you'll know about stuff ahead of time. If one of these venues releases a couple more tickets or something, you'll know about it. It'll be on social media first there. Also, there's ringtones up. We forgot to mention that on
those
the show.
There now.
We put up ringtones, so they're there if you want ringtones.
It took a while because the fucking, I don't know, what is that, copyrights?
There was all sorts of weird shit there.
They were bullshit
how.
copyrights.
So either way, if you want to be an even bigger friend of the show, a damn producer, not just a friend of the show, a participant, a producer, they're amazing. You can do that so easily by going to patreon.com/crime and sports. That's PATREON. A couple people asked us to spell that. Patreon.com/crime in sports, which is our other podcast. That's how you can make donations there, or go to PayPal, use our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com, and make a one-time donation there. Every dime is so appreciated. Jimmy, please tell me how appreciated they are, like a 22 to the back while I'm sleeping.
This week's executive producers are Jordan Bennett, Sally Norris, Elizabeth Gould, Amy Spicer, Clay Thorson, Matthew Villanueva, and Melissa Honeycutt. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, guys.
Extra
Amazing.
things this week. Dan Rogers' son is shipping off to the Army. He's going to be a fucking like an explosives finder.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
be careful out there,
man.
please,
Good
Matthew.
luck.
God
be careful.
damn it, be careful.
Fuck. Hurt yourself, please.
Other one is C.J. Hempel's girlfriend. I fucking.
She's going to do explosives too?
Yes.
Good God,
No,
CJ. Is your girlfriend?
No, she's having her stomach removed. Fucking bananas. Please.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That sounds
that
harrowing.
Sounds
Jesus
dangerous,
Christ.
right?
Yeah.
I hope they put
Good
it
luck
back.
to you, and
I don't know.
I hope they give you a new one.
Yeah, because
or something.
Where they
Seems
find
like
those,
you would
I
need
don't
that.
know. I hope everything works out.
Wow.
So thank you all. Also, other producers this week: Thomas Smith, Paul Hopkins, Melissa McCutcheon, Peyton Meadows, Edward Claringbold, yes, Rachel Robke, Michelle Nguyen. You know how it's pronounced.
Yes.
She donated both ways. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Adriana Vandergrind, I think. Jeffrey Marano, Carissa Lindquist, Jake Giles, Joanna Hanley, Anthony Canella, and that's the guy that's trying to get us a shitload of I think it's him. No, it might not be. I don't know.
You're crediting the wrong people.
Maybe. He's trying to get us a shitload of devil dogs and whiskey.
Oh,
it's a sweetheart
we
of a
love
man.
that.
I think that's him.
Good guy.
Bailey Holland, Amy Schweer, or Skewer. Schuer, I think. Michael Harris, Jen McDonald, Catherine Brinker, Samuel Miller, Lisa Higgins, Amanda Hand, Sherry Granado, Anthony Golden, or Colden, Cologne, that's what that is, or Colon, Stephanie Smith, Michael Cannon III, Mandy Peterson. Don't trust that Michael. Hey guys,
that's a third.
He's a dangerous man.
He's okay.
He's dangerous.
For now, he's good.
We don't know where he got that money.
No,
he gave us.
that's
we
true.
have no
Good
idea. Jesse Hartman, Johnny Soggy Socks O'Larian, I think. Jeff Huber, Chelsea Morgan, Hobo Bum. Yep.
All right.
That's two hobos. That's a double bum.
Double hobo?
Yeah. Haley Roberts, no, Reents or Regents. Damn it, what did I do? Renus?
Not Roberts.
Nope. Austin Wood, Molly with no last name, Gina Egan, one of the Egan sisters, thank you. Emily Richardson, Peter Melling, Caitlin Allnut, Kim with no last name, Greg Oyot, or Ayotti, yes, no, Sarah Webb, Jeremy Dolan, yeah. Duran, I think it's Duran. Renee Bjorkland. Aaron Kelly, yes. Susanna Platt. Hey. Renee Lang Thompson. Liz Martin. August Dillon. No, Dijon. Shit. Dejun? What did I do? Ronnie Kumar, Rachel Bontrager, Stella Tucker, Tanya Duchesne, Nathan Needlinger. Yep. Sarah Miller, Kim Litfin, Mitchell Mixel, Jimmy Crawford, Amy and Marissa Crawford, I believe, George Cole, Joanna Hanley, Kimberly Stokes, Jen Wallace, Elizabeth Wilmarth, Rebecca Ann Weaver, Nicole Johnson, Michael Euler, Mary E. DeLucia, Peta Karate. Yes, karate.
Hey.
But not spelled that way. Talina Jensen, Gabby with no last name, Lisa Cameron, Lauren Reiner, Shayo, CH3E30. I think that's what it was.
Wow.
Nicole Arsenault. Kim Hobby, Ann Ferry, Damian Barney, Dylan Hopper, Kathleen with no last name, Knit1 Code 1, Rob Davis, Alex Kirk, Stephen Rude, again, thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Ryan Paxton, Andrew Birmingham, Terry Simmons, Cassie Harris, Theron Chase, Tironi? No idea. Damn it. Ian Shepard, Jala Atkins, David Meyer, Casey Wilson, Amy Northrup, Kyle McDonald, Matt Facendi, I think, Agatha Corhonen. I'm doing my best.
You're dying in the home stretch here.
Diana with no last name, Logan D. Zwiefelhofer, T. Sanderson, and Natalie Elrod, and all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, so much for everything you do for us and everything you've done for us this week and everything you're going to do for us this upcoming week and coming to the shows. And God damn it, you guys are the best. Honestly. Yeah. You know how to make people feel like they're actually worth something. So thank you.
True.
Thank you so much for doing that. What if they wanted to tell you that you're worth something, Jimmy? How could they do that?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I'll see you guys tonight. In Minnesota, we'll see you in a couple of days. Thank you guys truly for buying these tickets and making these shows incredible and changing our lives. We're going to give you the best podcast live show you've seen.
It's going to be funny.
Where can they find you?
Find me at Jimmy P is funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description. Save us all some time. Do that, and you can find me everywhere. Yeah, Minnesota, it is a 957 seat place.
Ridiculous.
And it's going to be sold out. There's like 30 tickets left, and that's fucking amazing to sell that place out for a couple of guys who 3 years ago were just trying to get booked at comedy clubs to be the middle person to, the guy that no one remembers. Yeah, to make $100 and
I gotta pay. I got kids.
So thank you guys for changing our goddamn lives. We really, really appreciate that, and we'll continue to keep appreciating that as we keep coming back each and every week. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
When a home security system is triggered, the police often assume it's a false alarm, but not with Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has video verification technology that helps police get to the scene up to 3.5 times faster, making their average police response time just 7 minutes. And 24/7 professional monitoring starts at just $15 a month. Visit simplysafe.com/small to get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. That's simplysafe.com/small, simplysafe.com/small. If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus